can't tell you how to solve every single problem that might arise. Cool.
Let's go.
Cool. So with all that said, this is a very prototype version of TDP4. As you'll notice, they all say TDP 4.x. These slides were stripped from what was readily available and what I thought was worth covering tonight. There's some more stuff which isn't covered. This is the first time I've publicly shown these TDP4 slides. They've been in development for they've been in development hell, for over a year. So I'm sorry that's taken so long, but this is, I'm hoping to get trial and feedback on how this kind of stuff flows and how it feels, and whether it feels useful, whether it feels not useful, that sort of shit. Because I find this topic incredibly difficult to kind of preach rather than teach. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to say, you guys need to do things this way, and it feels very uncomfortable for me to do that. The main thing is that it's hoping to kind of set you guys up with the tools and stuff that you'll need, rather than say you have to do it my way, because there's multiple different ways that you can do this sort of thing, right? I hope that yap kind of makes sense. But with that all said, I'm gonna give these guys in the team speak another couple of seconds. JJ said he wasn't too far away. He's just connected. Anyway, here's a beautiful slide from TTP4. What is it talking about? Communication and radio procedures. So that's where we're going to start, obviously. This stuff that you can see on the right. So I made 3 emblematic squad compositions that you might see in a standard BTAC operation. Some of the call signs you might see, that sort of thing, how it kind of flows out, right? NATO platoons, very straightforward. The way that we kind of run those is we have an alpha platoon, and then we'll have a 2-1, 2-2, that sort of thing down the line, and you'll have alpha actual being the commander there. Then we've got over here on the right, this is one that's a little bit more confusing, is the US Havoc from Vietnam. 6 is historically used as the commanding officer, and then 7 sergeant, 8 down the line. There's a little bit of creative liberty taken there. It's not 100% accurate, but it is an example of stuff that you might see. It all obviously depends on mission making and what the mission maker has prepared for that operation and stuff like that. But a lot of the times in BTAC, you will see operations that are designed to be, in inverted commas, authentic, right? So we might see call signs that are a little bit confusing. So it's just about getting used to a variety of different naming conventions and call signs and that sort of thing. But it will always follow the formula of company, then platoon, then squad. More often than not, we won't be worrying about the company. But, I've got that in there for future proofing when Daryl's next video comes out and we get 190,000 fucking players joining. But most often you're going to see a platoon, then a squad. And I've kind of color-coded it from there. Is there any questions about that sort of stuff? Because a lot of the examples that we'll cover today will use these specific call signs. Perfect. Awesome. All right. JJ made it in all right. You can hear me all right, JJ? All good?
Yep, unfortunately.
Very good.
Oh,
Des, you're good.
Yeah. Second row behavior.
Okay, so as I was saying before you guys joined, I'll just quickly reiterate, this is a very early work in progress version of TTP4. A lot of the stuff is still subject to change, and this is kind of a prototype of what we're kind of working with TTP4. It does not cover the full content of TTP4. It is a subset. We are specifically focusing on squad leading and radio communications today, because that is the precursor to everything. We'll be doing a little bit of tactical decision making and stuff like that later on in the session, but for today, we're mostly going to be running drills and focusing drills on radio communications. And as I said before, a lot of this stuff is very theory dense, so it's going to be very much a sit down and talk about it session. We're not going to have a lot of practical stuff to really cover. So I appreciate you guys locking in, listening up and communicating into the into the open discussion parts. I'm going to try and have a bunch of open discussion parts. You guys answer questions, etc. We'll see how we go with all that. Cool. Speaking of questions, feel free to stop me at any point. I'm just going to be rolling through this as fast as I can. Okay. Cool. So let's go through. When you are making a radio call, there are 2 absolute pillars of effective radio communication. When you are trying to compose a message to send to another person, you need to be concise, or you need to be using brevity, and you need to be clear. The message needs to not have the message not be construed at the other end, but at the same time, it needs to not take a million years for you to get that message across. A lot of the time in BTEC Ops, at least especially recently as well, the radios have been kind of setting themselves on fire with the amount of traffic that we're seeing. And what we're going to try and do is standardize a lot of the procedures for what we kind of use and see during these radio transmissions. So with these 2 pillars in mind, we are going to firstly talk about something called procedure words. So can anyone tell me what a procedure word is?
it is an agreed upon
like verb, typically, for like a specific thing. I guess it's like acknowledged is pretty universally used to just say that you understand what was said, that sort of thing.
Yeah, spot on. That's exactly right. So procedure word, or pro words for short, are essentially agreed upon words that everyone knows the definition of. Everyone knows the meaning of it. So if I say to you, net call, you know what I'm saying. I don't need to try and explain that to you. It's all very much implied. So this is a list. We're going to go down the list when we're doing this sort of stuff. Once we get some of these procedure words out, then we're going to practice doing some actual formulations of radio calls. And I'm going to get everyone on the same channel, and we're going to go around and try and do it all together, okay? So starting out from the top, this is. Why do we use this is?
So that way you know who it is.
Yep. Next up as well with this is, we have this concept of establishing a dialogue or making a handshake. Does anyone know what is meant when I say that?
It's just making sure that the other person hears you and is receiving your communications.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So it's the handshake or the establishing of a dialogue is critically important when you're doing radio operations, especially in Arma or in real world. The reason being, if you're on an open channel, there's multiple people listening to it. They might not have their focus 100% dedicated to the radio at all times. You can't just go, Alpha, this is command. I need you to move to the tree line 200 meters to your west and then engage enemies 300 meters to your east. Like, it's too much information. It'll get lost. They won't be listening. Someone will be talking on the short range, or they'll be talking shit. The vehicle's too loud. There's gunshots in their ears. They'll miss the message, is the point, right? So instead, what we want to see everyone doing is we'll say, Alpha, this is command. Then you wait for them to acknowledge. They will say, command, this is Alpha, send message. Then you can relay your message. So that's what the this is there as well. The procedure word for this is, the procedure is always going to be you specify the call sign that you're calling and then yourself. And that's why I've got this is there. You don't go command for Alpha. You say Alpha, this is command. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. Moving on, message/traffic. So if I said again, Alpha, this is command, message, over. I'm telling them that I have a message for them and I want to transmit something. The other one as well is traffic. Same thing, same meaning.
Leon, you hot micing.
God damn it.
Nobody.
So the other thing as well with this, when you're using the message/traffic call, the time that I find myself most commonly using this one is if I've called someone and they haven't responded. So again, Alpha, this is command. I don't get a response and I wait maybe 10, 15 seconds. I realize that they've missed my message. Maybe there was missed in the chaos or I was stepped on or something like that. I'll say it again to reiterate. Alpha, this is command, message over. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So now we have the next problem, right? If I need to talk to two call signs at once, let's say I have information for Alpha and Bravo, right? I'm going to call them and I'm going to say, Alpha, this is the message for you. And then I'm going to end the message. I've established the dialogue with Alpha's squad leader and I've given them that message. Next, then I'm going to say the same message again to Bravo, right? That can take a lot of time. It can take a lot of radio traffic, right? But also you don't want to be calling Alpha and Bravo, this is command. Do you copy? Because then it's like, who responds first? Alpha probably down the line, right? Alpha responds first and says, I listen. And then Bravo says, I listen, right? It's too messy. So we use this thing called net call. Net call is essentially the call sign that corresponds to everyone on the channel, right? So if I was to give a message to Alpha and Bravo, I would say all call signs, net call, net call. That means that they're listening and they're actually paying attention to the next traffic, which is going to be Alpha, I need you to move 200 meters to the ridgeline on the western side. Bravo, I need you to move to the building to your east. Something like that, right? I can give two messages as long as I do a net call. Again, the other reason is as well is because if I'm in Bravo squad and I'm listening to the radio and I hear command say Alpha as the first part of their message, I tune out and I stop listening to everything that follows after that because I know the message isn't destined for me, right? So if I'm as the platoon commander going, Alpha, this is command, I need you to go up to the western side, and Bravo, I need you to go to the eastern side. The message for Bravo is just is tuned out by the Bravo commander. So we need to make sure that we're using net call when we're trying to transmit multiple messages to multiple people at the same time. And if that is not possible, then you need to go around and do it methodically one by one. That is the easiest and safest way to ensure that messages are received at all ends. Cool. No questions?
Nope.
Awesome. Moving on, be advised. Means be advised is easy. It just indicates new information. Over, out. No questions about that. That's pretty self-explanatory. You don't have to use out. The radio clicks will have you covered, but sometimes you just kind of do it in the flow of things, right? Awesome.
Out's typically that conversation is over, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It indicates to the other call sign that you're done with this message, basically.
And if you want to trigger everyone on the net, you say over and out.
Yeah.
Do you do it? Whoever initiates call ends call.
No, so out can be done by anyone. Generally, it would be command saying that we're done. You'd rarely get a squad leader saying out, but it can happen. But out just means that no more conversation needs to go up or down. This conversation's over. Net is clear.
Yeah, perfect. And then also, if someone says out to you and you still have more information that you want from them, you have to establish a new dialogue. When they say out, you have to go like, "Oh, command, this is alpha message," and you have to reestablish the dialogue.
Damn it.
Yeah. But it's just good practice. And that's why I've got here. I say that like the use case of out is weird. It just takes a lot of practice and experience with doing it. So don't worry too much about using it. The radio beeps and the clicks will have you covered most of the time, especially while you're still learning. If you hear other people using it, you'll kind of get a sense for how it's supposed to be used, right? Yeah, that's the other part of it. It's just active listening. Cool. Contact. I mean, that's covered in TTP 0. I don't know why that's there. I think I still forgot to take it out.
No, I think it's worthwhile, especially getting people to call out contact sometimes.
Yeah,
I do find that people some say contact and they'll say a civilian. It's like no.
Technically, that's not incorrect.
It's not incorrect, but
not.
the concept is everyone then understands that it's hostile, and then you've got to re-clarify.
It's an
So should we instead move to like saying eyes on instead of like contact specifically?
Well,
If
contact
you can still be a bogey, right? You can still have an unidentified, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just about the specification of the call afterwards.
Contact bridge.
I was going to say
it's on the person to not assume that it's hostile straight away.
That's correct. Just because someone's called contact doesn't mean they've PID'd it as hostile.
That is correct.
My fallback, if I'm actually paying attention, is movement. I call movement front, movement left. That gets people to look there, and then from there, I actually figure out what I've seen.
That's a good one I need to add, actually. Movement is a good procedure word. Yeah. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Maybe it doesn't need a whole column, but,
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Is spotting contact, is that a net call? Should you call out net call first, or...?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, Holden. In this case, it is a type of call that does not necessarily need a dialogue established. You don't need to go, Alpha, this is command, and then wait for Alpha to respond and then say, oh, there's enemies there. This is something where this is what I call a burst transmission. A burst transmission is one where dialogue is not needed. The pro word speaks for itself, right? So if I'm in Bravo squad and I need everyone to know that there is a BTR moving up on the left-hand side, I'm not going to say all call signs, net call, net call. I'm just going to say contact BTR left. I'm going to put it into my voice. I'm going to make it evident to the people listening to the channel that this is an important message, right? I'm not going to say monotone. I'm going to try and do it in a delivery rather than in the like procedure word. Does that kind of make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Moving on. So these are what I call transmission control. So these are used to like indicate the flow of the transmission to the person that's receiving it, right? So break is a useful one. If, sometimes you want to confirm your information before you send it. And while you're holding down caps lock, you can't also reach across and open up your map, for example. The radio beeps, again, will get you caught up here because if someone hears the click of the radio ending, they might not have been the person that was the recipient of the transmission. They might not be listening to what's happening next, right? So the break call just kind of keeps you covered. It just indicates that I'm going to pause for a second and I intend to start transmitting again in half a second time. Cool. Break also has a double function. In this case, if you say break 3 times, it indicates that anyone who is currently transmitting should release their push-to-talk key because of destructive interference. So the way that radios work, I'm sure that you guys are all aware of it, the way that's kind of radio signals and stuff like that. But if 2 radios are transmitting on the same frequency at the same time, those waves will constructively and destructively interfere. And you can get a really good sense of this. Who else has got a 343? Start holding caps lock and talking over me. Everyone just start talking over each other. I think it's going to be hard to illustrate it.
No,
you actually can't hear anyone else.
Because we have duplex turned off.
Yeah, so you hear the first person that's transmitting, and then everyone else just hears a garbled mess. So if I'm transmitting and you stomp on me, I can hear you, but no one else on that frequency can hear. All they hear is garbled mess, okay? Does that make sense?
I don't even think that's what we were getting. I think we just got you.
It was
and then that
probably
it.
it was probably too many people, right?
That's true. It's probably too many people.
When
We
you're
can demo it
transmitting,
too.
I've noticed nowadays when you transmit, you can hear absolutely nothing for yourself.
Because
Yeah.
duplex is turned off.
Yeah.
I mean, we can demo it right now. So me and Chip, I guess.
Testing. 1,
Hello,
2, 3.
1, 2.
Hello,
Yeah,
1, 2.
it's
It's
To the
not
left.
transmitting at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you started to get worse and worse.
But the point is that Daryl is transmitting and can hear Chip, even though no one else can hear Chip. Does that make sense?
Weird, eh?
So Daryl would hear the Chip break, 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 and release the push to talk, which gives the airwaves to Chip. Okay, does that make sense?
Right.
So that's a good one. And also it's more use cases to like indicate like I've got something very important to say. Shut the fuck up and listen. Cool. Awesome. Stand by. This is something like, you know, if commander's requested a casualty report from Alpha and has to wait a few minutes for them to gather that information, this is a standby rather than a break. Cool. Makes sense? Grids to follow is just a good one, indicating that the numbers that you're saying next to map coordinates, it just lets people get in the mindset of, oh, I need to pay attention to what the next 3 digits are and remember them, or I need to open my map and start looking. It's good to give people a moment to realize that you're about to say grids. Because in some cases, if you just start saying like, I'm at the position 073045, then they're like, oh, fuck, I wasn't actually ready for grids. I didn't have my map open. I wasn't ready to like start memorizing those numbers. It's too late. You have to repeat those grids for me. Does anyone hear what I did wrong there?
Yeah, you said repeat.
Yeah.
I heard it,
We'll get
but
to
you're on
that.
the radio, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Anyway, moving on. Grids to follow is a good one. Acknowledged. Yeah, this is very much a good one. It's just like the succinct way of saying I understood your message and I will do my best to follow through with it. Cool. You can also say ACK if you really, really care about brevity. If you want to sound super legit.
No, Daryl says it. It sounds good every time.
Yeah.
Bravo, Ack.
Cool.
Don't have to
Affirmative
do
and
it,
negative. I've
as long
got
as
here
it
the new and
works,
improved
damn
yes
it.
and no, but now with more clarity.
Yeah.
And you can SEAL Team 6 by going affirm.
Yeah. That's another shortening if you
hands are in
really
my head
want the
right now.
brevity in there. Cool. Next up, Wilco. Will comply. Awesome. Moving on. We're going to smash through these. Okay, so how copy is a less formal version of readback. So a good example of this is in the readback column, actually, we'll do these simultaneously. If I'm giving a string of instructions that are complicated and they have multiple kind of facets to them, what I will do is I will often ask for a readback. I use how copy a lot. I think it's one of the most useful things as a platoon commander, especially to ensure that your orders are being received correctly and being interpreted as such. Basically what it's saying is it's like, did you understand? When I say how copy, I'm not expecting a readback. It's just more of like is there anything you're unsure about? Let me know now. Cool. Moving on to readback. Readback is more formal. That's like, I want you to repeat what I've just said to you to ensure that I'm verifying that that message was received, right? So in the example, I've got Alpha. This is actual. Move 200 meters to the northwest. Establish a block facing east, and expect contact 2 times enemy squads. And then I will say Alpha, read back. The expectation now in Alpha is to try and repeat that information back to me as quickly as I can, right? And then if that's good, I will say read back correct, or I'll say read back incorrect, and then give them a correction. I will correct their read back. Cool. Awesome. Now, here we go. Say again. This is what you say on the radio rather than repeat. If you ask someone to repeat their message, you're asking them to do the last fire mission again. Repeat is a procedure word, but it is not for squad leaders to use in transmission control. It is used for fire missions. Cool? So the alternative is to say again. Excuse me. Moving on, interrogative is just a fancy word for question. I hear a lot of people saying it to sound fancy. You definitely don't need to use it, but I just wanted everyone to know what it means, because if someone hits you with it and you're like, what the fuck does that mean? It's on there, okay? Cool. Moving on, SITREP is short for situation report. This is meant to be a brief situation report. In platoon commanding context, this is a really good one to kind of get a very quick read on a squad's situation and update your situational awareness on their position. It is not a CAS report or a full ACE report, right? What these are a little bit more in depth. ACE report is short for ammo, casualties, equipment. If I ask you for an ACE report, I expect you to get back to me with a full detailed situation report. with including how your ammo fighting state is, whether you sustained any casualties, whether they're in stable condition or worsening, and if you are in need of any further equipment. This is incredibly useful for Platcos to notify higher command when they need a resupply, right? But just to be clear, the sit rep is not meant to be the full situation report. It's just meant to be as brief as possible. Cool?
Mhm.
Awesome. And then a CAS rep is just short for casualty report. It is a subset of the ACE report. And there are formats for this stuff in the TTP4 slides, which we are not going to cover tonight. As long as you know what it means. That's the main thing for tonight, right?
What would you request if you want the full sit rep and CAS and ACE?
I'm including ACE as like a I want to sit rep on the addendum as well, right? Maybe you could say sit rep and ACE report. That's pretty clear and short way of saying it.
Full sit rep?
Yeah, you could say full sit rep. I guess the thing is, though, we'd need to have it as a procedure word. We need to agree upon it, right?
Yeah,
I think we
Probably
can
just be broken up into 2 messages, to be honest, given the amount of information that's going to be relayed.
Yeah, it kind of does
Good
clutter
work,
the
yeah.
frequency for a very long time to get a full ACE report plus a sit rep. But
Presumably, yeah, this is just something you call during an interim period.
I was going
much,
to say the
yeah.
other process as well is if it's urgent and you don't want to block the traffic, you can say push channel, move to channel 2, give the sit rep on that channel, then move back so you're not blocking the main channel.
Yeah,
Not
a
used
bad
that
shout.
often, but
It isn't. I'll tell you why that isn't used that often. It's actually a good shout, but there is definitely a case to be made against it in the sense that we only ever have like 3 or 4 call signs on the net anyway, so they can kind of wait. And also, if someone pushes off of the channel and then someone has new information they need to send to the platoon commander, platoon commander is not listening to channel 1 anymore. Platoon commander is punched off to channel 2.
Situational.
Yeah, so maybe in that case he might delegate that responsibility to his platoon sergeant, who can then go to channel 1 and monitor it for him in his absence, right? That sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's just you need to use it with special consideration. Is the point. But it's a good idea. I agree. I think that if you're in an op and you realize that the radio comm situation is too much, there's not enough room on the radio for other people to give their messages, absolutely telling someone to push out to a different channel is a great idea. And I do that all the time. Like if we have forward observers and the squad platoon level comms happening on the same channel, I'll be like, all right, forward observer, you're going to a different channel. Fuck off.
Well, you want to hear all of the fire mission?
No.
Awesome. For the basic sit rep,
yep.
What level of response looking for there? Is if it's like, alpha sit rep, is it just alpha's in position on contact, ready to move? Is that kind of the level we're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great question. I'm going to paste the sit rep brief thing that I've got. Again, this is super work in progress and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Let's go to, I'm just going to post it in the Armor chat.
Often do location, action, contact, and intended action if it's necessary. It's like 3 sentences, maybe 2.
Okay, so in Armor chat, I'm going to read it out as well for people that can't tab out. But in there, a sit rep is a brief, concise report designed to provide platoon commander with an immediate overview of the squad's current situation. It focuses on essential information without excessive detail, allowing for rapid situational awareness gain. Platco should utilize sit rep when they feel they have little to no situational awareness from a particular squad or from a side of the battlefield, and want a quick glance, update, or peek at the situation. It is not a full picture report and should be kept short and concise. The format is as follows. The core of a sit rep should be delivered as directly and briefly as possible. While there isn't a rigid multi-line format like an ACE report, it should generally cover the current location, where is your squad at the moment, the current state/activity, what is your squad doing and what is its overall condition, and brief key information. This is anything that you consider to be new observations, immediate threats, or completed actions that the Platco has not already been updated with. And there's an example on the Armor chat if you want to have a look at that. Cool. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yep.
Perfect. Again, I didn't have a slide like tidied up for that, so I didn't put it in the game. So I figured that sort of question I can just kind of answer with a post. Hope that's all good.
That's good.
Awesome. All right, moving on. This one again is very similar to interrogative lockstat. You won't hear it used very often, but some people love to hit you with it. And just in case you get slapped in the face with it and you don't know what the fuck it means, it stands for location status. Just give us your position.
So many times.
I use it a lot for squad members. What's your lock stat? And they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then you have to restate it to them, and
Yeah,
it takes way longer.
Where are
and
you?
you could have just been like, "Where are you?"
1, report position.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, keypad. You'll hear keypads used a lot when using grids. That's look down at your keyboard. 1, 2, 3 along the bottom row, 4, 5, 6 in the middle, and then 7, 8, 9 along the top. And then I have here, sorry to TKL or 60% losers.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
fair.
first, fuck you.
Valid.
Fuck you too.
I mean, you can only afford 60% of a keyboard.
Self-report. He's fucking self-reported.
Yeah, who's playing armor on a fucking? Like, you got a
I'm,
stream
c-
deck
I'm
hooked
going
up?
to
Like,
your
what?
house
To be
with my
fair,
keyboard. I'm gonna
trying
smack
to
you with the
find a
head with it.
high-grade
Luckily, it only
keyboard that
hurts
isn't like
60% as
78
much.
is fucking stupid.
True.
That's it. I'm switching back to
I
a
had
$20.
to go for like a Ducky Zero that was
Oh,
only
duckies
80.
are so good. Don't
I
get me started
know,
on the
but they're
ducky.
all 80 or smaller, and it sucks.
I love my ducky.
Anyway, moving on. That's keypad. Mike's is just short for minutes. Mike is actually the phonetic alphabet for M. So you hear people say 40 Mike, which is 40 mil. Cool. And then clicks is kilometers. Oscar Mike on the move. CCP is short for casualty collection point. Stepped on is just like the thing that we were talking about before, where the frequencies destructively interfere. That's just when someone transmits over the top of someone else and the message was squashed or stepped on. Cool. So now actual. This is one that we use a lot, and it's a really, really good one. Basically, what actual means, again, this is actually something I've really struggled to find a lot of good information on. But actual in our context, I'm not sure if this is exactly the same in real world, is that it's actual is separate from the person, right? So if I call for alpha actual, I'm not calling for the alpha squad leader. I'm just calling for the person that's currently in charge of alpha or someone who can answer to that authority. What this means is that if the platoon commander can't answer because they're punched out to a different channel, like Ollie was saying earlier, or they're busy like drafting up a plan or something like that, the platoon sergeant can respond and send messages on behalf of the platoon commander using the call sign actual, right? But actual just simply denotes the person or the call sign in charge of that call sign, right? The highest authority on that call sign. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
I would still respond as minor if I was a sergeant.
Yes,
I could
there
answer
is.
on
There
Andrew's
is
behalf,
a.
but as minor.
Yeah, there is a case for that, and there is a situation in which you would do that if it's like I'm notifying people that I am stepping up into actual as minor, right? I would be like, this is Plat minor stepping into command. I would use that then. But if Platco is going to be off station for like 30 seconds and they just can't respond to this current transmission, I would still respond to Alpha Actual. I wouldn't wait for the old Actual to take the radio and then respond to the message.
I'd answer for it. I'll just respond as like.
And then also when if Platco was like, oh fuck, I need to drop this line on the map. Can you just tell Alpha to go and hold the eastern flank for me? And then they just go in the map and fuck off. If I was a Plat sergeant, I wouldn't go Alpha, this is Plat minor. I would say this is actual, because that way Alpha's expecting a call from actual. They know what the call sign is and what they're like denoting. It's not important information. Like the fact that the minor is speaking for the actual doesn't really matter in that case. Do you know what I mean? It just keeps things consistent and easy and less points of failure.
We have the same use for major, right? So alpha actual and alpha major.
I think
should we try and default to using actual instead? Because I know people do use that.
That's right. Yeah, and that's that. You know, I think that the existence of minor implies the existence of major, right? But also there is a problem where, yeah, as Pi said, it is a rank. So there's already a procedure word that major contains, right? Major is the rank of major. So I think people will understand what you mean when you say this is alpha major or whatever, right? But at the same time, actual is preferred, to answer your question.
Cool. I guess it's just using actual for the most cases and only really specifically using major for when you really are just talking about that guy.
Yeah.
Even then, you would just say squad lead or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you also don't need to specify actual on a lot of comps.
No, you don't.
It's not critical.
And that is hilarious because that is the next point, which is all about shortening unit call signs. So, as I was saying before, right? So the way that radios are set up is they're usually set up on a frequency or a channel in which a network is formed. The network is formed between the people that have that radio frequency set up, right? Every single time you use your radio, we are looking for those two pillars. Does anyone remember what the two pillars were?
Brevity and clarity.
Nice work. Cool. So this is a way to kind of serve both, right? It can be confusing having all the like 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, the 7 6 1 4 Charlie Alpha message over. It's like fuck off. 1, this is 2. That's all you need to say, right? If you're on the same frequency, it is implied that similar call signs are shared. You don't need to say those, okay? So there's some examples down the bottom here, right? Alpha 2 platoon commander contacting Alpha 2 1. The long form of that would be Alpha 2 1. This is Alpha 2 6 message over. You can just say 1, this is 6. Saves heaps of time. It's way clearer for everyone. Cool. Any questions about those examples?
For receiving a message, would you just say like send or receiving, or is it just best to acknowledge it as like for example, they got Slava actual? Would you just say like Charlie actual, just to confirm that you've heard them, or?
I don't understand the question. Sorry.
I'll
Don't-
say,
on
I'll
the
say send for
response.
Alpha or send for Charlie.
So if you message me, should it be better that if I respond, you'd be going send, or should I say, yeah, this is 6, send your message?
Yeah, I think it's better if you say this is 6, send your message, because that way platoon commander knows that the person they're talking to isn't some random fucking junk who's pretending to be alpha or whatever, right? It's like
Or is confused.
or is confused and got the wrong message, right? I think it's generally always better to say this is blah blah blah.
Yeah, I often do send for Charlie or send for Alpha.
Yeah, send for Charlie, send for Alpha. That tells the placode that they've got the right person, and the message is going to be heard by the person they intended it to be heard. Cool. Awesome. All right. Then down the bottom here, I've just got a couple of examples, which is, Alpha 2-1 contacting High Command, right? So High Command is not a call sign that shares our super call sign of Alpha 2, right? So Alpha 2-1 contacting Zeus should call their full call sign, Alpha 2-1. They shouldn't call Sunray, this is 1, because they'll be like, who the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me? All right. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. No questions about any of that? Alrighty. Well, that basically takes us to the end of our procedure words and radios section. To prevent information overload, I'm not going to do the task verbs just yet, but that's a whole extra slide of, listing out shit and memorizing them. For now, I think that what I want to do is I want to try something. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if it's going to be effective or useful. I want to try doing a bunch of transmissions, right? I want to get people practicing, and I want everyone to hear the transmission being said, and I want everyone to criticize that transmission. When I say criticize, I
Exact
mean
opposite of
is
training,
that transmission actually clear, and is it brief? We're looking for brevity and clarity, right?
Fair enough.
So I'm going to come up with a bunch of fake scenarios. You are all going to get a unique call sign, okay?
Oh, this is a big, busy net. I like this.
Really, hold on.
This
All right,
is
ready.
a cool net.
Everyone pay attention. Chip, you are Alpha. Daryl, you are Bravo. Ollie, you are Charlie. Holden, you are Delta. Lucas, you are Echo. Dino, you are Foxtrot. Lorax, you are Golf. Valkyrie, you are Hotel. Mac, you are India. Cybroid, you are Lima. Leon, you are Mike. Pi, you are November. JJ, you are Oscar. LMNOPQ, Ross, you are Quebec. Ara, Dez, you are Romeo.
Who's Juliet?
Yeah, no Juliet for you.
Okay, did everyone did I do that right?
I think
You're
you did.
asking
a lot
us?
of people.
Well, you should have remembered your own one at least.
This is
I think.
Echo.
Yeah.
Net check, over. Echo.
We can't hear you, Dino.
Okay. Does everyone have a 152?
Oh, wow.
I got 343.
I have a 152.
Negatory.
Oh,
yes, I do.
I have a 152.
I did.
I can't use it though.
Check
Also,
your,
Jace,
check
you
your
call
bag.
me India?
Oh, right.
Yes.
Check your
Okay.
bag. I've got one in my bag.
Yeah, check
What
your
did you think he said?
PTT.
Indigo?
No, it's because he's
I've already
right,
said
it's because I
Lima,
picked
but
the
I'm wrong.
kit.
Oh,
I'm Lima.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have 2 343, so you got to change the PTT if you want to.
Yeah,
Okay.
throw
Just
it one
go
of
for
my
343.
Shall I
There we go.
abort and just
Yeah, feel free to drop one of your 343s. You only ever need one 343. That's a mistake on the loadout. You should only have the one.
Fuck that. 343.
Dino, I've given you a 152. What are you doing?
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Don't panic.
So, this is for people who've never used Acre or have never used a 152 before. We're going to quickly do a familiarization with the long-range radio, okay? So, self-interaction radios. In there, you should see the AMPRC 152 and the 343. What I want you to do immediately is I want you to split the stereo. What this means is one ear will receive one radio. So make, for example, I usually try to keep this consistent, but I know that some people don't bother or they have a different system. It's up to you. As long as you have a system that works for you, that's fine. But I put my short-range radio in my left ear, and I put my long-range radio in my right ear, and I always keep it the same. If I have a third
That's
radio,
exactly what I do, yeah.
if I have a third radio, so say I'm like operating within a platoon net, a squad net, and I'm on a long range radio as a JTAC or something, then my third radio will become in both ears, and the most important radio will be the one that is in both ears, and it will be the one that's on the highest volume. So set up your 343 in one ear, set your 152 in another ear, and I want you guys to listen for if people are using the correct radio. All radio calls from this point, when we're doing radio training, should be coming through on the 152, not the 343. So let's quickly talk about the 152 itself. If you hover over it and release your Windows key, it'll bring up the interface into your face. If you're familiar with the 343, it has the change channel knob at the top. That still functions. However, in BTAC operations, you will basically never change it off of channel 1 for platoon net. If you're doing forward observing, JTAC, or you need to push out to a different channel, that's how you can do it. But very frequently, the platoon net will always be channel 1. You never need to reconfigure it or change the frequency or anything like that. Volume knob is on the left-hand side near the top. It's like off the edge of the radio. You can change the volume with left-click and right-click there.
They look like two little buttons on the left-hand side.
Yeah, like diagonal high left of the screen. Everyone found that all right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Next, you can also cycle the frequency of the channel using the preset rocker on the bottom right. So PRE plus and minus will also change the frequency, same as the knobby at the top. Okay. There is some more functionality with speakers and some other bits and pieces, but that is outside of the purview of what we're going to do tonight. So that is the basic fundamentals of how to use the 152. No questions?
Lucas, you're hot mic'd on the 152.
That's all right.
That's weird. I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that either.
I didn't hear it.
Cool. So now we talk about push to talks. When I'm operating as a squad leader, my push to talk 1 is my short range, and my push to talk 2 is my long range radio or 152. The push to talk for my squad is caps lock, but my long range radio is control and caps lock at the same time. Okay. Cool. So I am now going to get everyone to split up and form a big like circle where you can't hear each other in proximity voice. And I'm going to come around and give you a message to transmit. Okay. I'm going to give you a situation.
All right, so we should all go on to whisper then as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Minimize the distance that we all got to go.
Actually, yeah, no, I do realize that we should not go too far because we need to come back together to be able to, you know, talk about the transmissions and whether they were good or not, right?
Need a doctor.
Don't forget we go on the channel 1 so we can all hear you on that.
I haven't got one.
Oh, and you are God as well, so you can just talk in areas whenever you want, Chase.
Okay, bear with me. This is going to take a minute. All right, I'm going to get you guys to do me a favor. On the right-hand side of the map, I'm going to put a bunch of dots. I want you to put your name and your call sign on there just so I can keep track of who's who for me, okay?
Yeah, this is unacceptable, guys. You're going to need to put those in order.
Today, in BTEC training, BTEC learns the alphabet.
What's the alphabet, Jace? Can you help?
Base, Delta, interrogative.
Really, now you're going to do that.
What's the alphabet? Over.
I absolutely love your brevity. That's fantastic. Good work, Holm.
Fuck me. A, B. Fuck, I'm muting.
Ack.
Did you just shoot at me?
Charlie's in contact on the southwest side, someone's shooting at me.
Oh, fuck. Someone's going to ask for an ace report. I'm going to respond to it. Just make up. Okay, go on. I was going to say, I'm good.
Am I good to go?
Go ahead.
Golf, this is Echo. Contact east 200 meters. Over.
Good copy, Echo. Golf copies, moving to suppress.
Did you establish a dialogue?
Well, it's a contact report.
That'll look pretty well. JJ, you're up.
Charlie, this is Oscar. Send for Charlie. Sit rep report. Stand by. Charlie, sit rep. We are stationary on the eastern flank at the moment. No casualties at this time. No contact. Over. Good copy.
Look, that's really good.
Why is this like weirdly tense?
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, it's just a little... I mean, it's, honestly, this is probably better training than I've seen in real emergency service organizations, so...
Speak for yourself, Ollie. We did this exact same thing earlier this year.
This is, you know, like, I've been to multi-day PowerPoint presentations.
Mike from Lima.
Yeah, Ollie. We've done this exact thing up here. During
Mike, I want you moving 200 meters north, forming a blocking formation facing west, as there are enemy infantry arriving from the west. Back over.
Dead or 1 out. Moving north 200 meters to attack enemy infantry.
Incorrect. Want you moving north 200 meters, forming a blocking formation west, and engaging enemy forces coming from the west. Read back.
Moving 200 meters north to form a block, then engaging enemies on the west on 200 meters.
Good read back. Good read back. Over. Hotel, this is Bravo. Urgent traffic.
Bravo, this is Hotel. Send traffic. Over.
Be advised, Bravo has contact north of our position at this time. 2 times enemy squads. Requesting hotel maneuver northwest of your position. Flank and engage. Over.
Hotel, copies all. Alright, nice work everyone. Come back into the middle for me. I'm just standing by the tent. We'll come and have a quick chat about how those went.
Cool.
I'd written out a full ace report, and then I got hit with a sit rep instead, so I was like, fuck, I'll make something up.
Cool. Okay, so
Makes it
everyone
so much
did-
harder to do it on the spot.
Yeah, it does, and
That's
especially
true,
when
yeah.
everyone's listening, right? That
That's
was
why
kind
I
of my
said stand
intention.
by, because I was like,
that's
well,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
plans
The
changed,
fucking
so give me
And
a
that's what I was
second.
going to talk about. So the first transmission, what was the first transmission? Dino called who?
is it to everyone else or to me?
It's to you, Dino.
To me, I called golf.
Okay, and what was the mission? What was the message?
That we had contact 200 meters east.
Yep, and the response was good.
Yes.
Yep, I agree. I think the first transmission was a really good use of radio brevity, and it was very clear. Nice work. Second transmission.
That was me.
Yep.
Oscar Radio Charlie asking for sitrep.
Yep. Sitrep was provided very brief and very clear. Do you feel like it gave you a good situation report?
Yeah.
Nice.
100%.
And then you gave a good acknowledged, and that was it.
Yep.
Very good. Very good work. Third transmission. I actually identified 2 problems with the third transmission. Who wants to have a go identifying what those were?
So a reminder on the third transmission, what it was?
It was
I think the first one would have been bad readback.
the Cybroid calling Leon one.
Cybroid stumbled on the call signs at first, which I think slowed things down a bit.
Yep. What about you, Cybroid?
No, I can agree with that. I definitely stumbled there.
Cool. Okay, so what would be the way that we would fix that transmission? Cybroid answer.
Break and then recorrecting.
Yeah. I'm talking like if you were to do it again instead of like after you've made the mistake. Like so that was the mistake, but how would you do it properly? Yeah.
I would say a break and then correctly go Mike from Lima. With no stumbling over.
I didn't see from in our procedure words list.
Oh no, you're right.
So how would you do it instead? I would say, Mike, this is Lima, right?
I think I might have joined after that page.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah,
Right.
cool.
I came late because it was still updating.
No dramas then. Yeah. Okay. So the one that we clarified on, just for everyone as well, we use this is, and the reason that we use this is because it reminds us the order, right? I'm calling the call sign first. The first thing that they hear when the radio clicks and beeps should be their call sign. That's the recipient, right? That way they know to listen to everything that comes afterwards. So if I'm in a gunfight, there's a machine gun firing over my left shoulder, I can't hear anything. My radio clicks and I hear my call sign. I know that this message is receiving for me, and then I know that the next call sign that comes is the person who's sending that message. Cool.
Yep.
Perfect. So other than that, you did a very good job of concisely giving Leon the information. And then Leon, I don't think you got the read back 100% correct. Is that right?
I fumbled the ball hard.
No, not at all. No, it wasn't. It was actually really close to being good. I don't think you fumbled it hard by any means. I think it was actually really good. And instead of saying that like, oh, I didn't get it, I fucked it up, you tried, which is what you need to do. And then Cybroid asked for a read back deliberately. I actually deliberately gave you a very hard one because I wanted to put you in an uncomfortable spot, and you did extremely well. I gave you 3 instructions back to back. They had to move 200 meters to the north. They had to establish a blocking post facing to the west, and then they had to engage infantry to the west as well. And I wanted to try and trip you up. But you got the read back correct on the second attempt, which is fantastic work. And I knew that would be a complicated message. So Cybroid used the read back pro word correctly, which is saying, all the information that I'm giving you, I want you to read it back to me so I can verify the message is received properly. And it worked, right? Because we realized the message was not verified correctly.
Yeah, from the first one, it wouldn't have been a block, but the rest of it was good.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So at the end of the day, the intended result was achieved, and it was done in a very concise and very brief way. So that's full marks. Good job, everyone. That was really good. All right, nice.
And then
so moving on to transmission 4.
Yes.
So transmission 4 was Daryl, I think.
Oh, was it?
I can't remember.
Yes, it was.
Daryl was
you,
Valkyrie.
I don't remember which ones came after. Yeah.
I think you called for Alpha.
I called for Hotel.
Hotel. Okay, that's right. Yes, Valkyrie. Yes, that's right. Cool. So you called for Hotel.
Yep.
You gave them a series of instructions, and I think it was received very quickly and responded to very quickly, and then the acknowledged call came through. So I think that was a very good call. Cool. So I hope for people that haven't done this before, this is a good level of like showing you what it's meant to sound like. And for the people who have done this before, I hope it's not too boring, killing you guys. But this is a great example of really good brief and concise radio comms. So for anyone who didn't do a radio call, what we're going to do now is using the examples of the ones that I've just set. You guys need to now come up with a radio call and call someone that hasn't received it yet. So if you've done a radio call, go and sit under the tent.
Yeah, I get to be lazy.
Okay.
I'm moving in a second, don't worry. You know, those guys on the side judging a competition.
Cool, cool.
You've already reached like the threshold. You've basically passed. You're pulled to the side. You get
Who
to
do we
judge
have?
everything.
All right, Holden, you're up next.
We need like
Oh,
little,
way to put me on the spot.
you know, like the
Come with me, Holden.
fancy, binoculars that really rich people have. with the
Chase, I
little
think you
Bit just not too far, and then put yourself on whispering, okay?
I wish we had that so we could all have those, lift them up. And watch
Oh, like,
them.
you're thinking of for binoculars.
Yeah,
Like, you
that's
would
the
sit
one.
up in the bleachers.
Yeah.
What the hell? Who is Cleat?
A cigarette.
I would love one actually.
Well, you've also remembered that
God, them druggos.
Oh, some Mountain Dew one too.
I need my ciggy, mate.
There you go, it's in your bag.
But like,
I don't know if they have
did they make it past the
You smoke that shit straight off the leaf.
How did you manage to get my existing cigarette off of me, put it in your mouth?
Dropped on the ground.
Crazy.
Oh, I can't like. Can
I was like
I'm here
so
to kick ass and
confused.
chew tobacco, and I'm all
They
out
still-
of tobacco.
Thank you.
At one point, and we didn't change the password. Still no change. So.
It's not a big deal. It's really an easy fix. I'm more worried about what will happen if Azza gets targeted.
Oi.
Single
Go
player.
get your own shit, man. Oh wait, will you get delivering goods? Oh, he was delivering goods.
That's good shit.
All right, Des.
Yep. Oh,
You're up, buddy. So what's going to happen is you're going to get a call. It's going to be complicated, and it's going to be a readback call.
Yep, let me get a
And then you need to assume that you have an AA in your squad, okay? So there's someone with like a stinger or something in your squad, okay?
Fucked up.
You got it?
to find the pen.
Gotta move quick.
I'm working on it.
Okay. I'll prep the next one then while you do that.
I got a pen. I'm good.
So, one of my friends in America is a bounty hunter.
Romeo, Delta.
Don't say it.
Delta Romeo.
He's good friends with me and my partner. And so my partner decided to dox him by just asking his mum for his address.
Delta orders as follows. Move to dismount point. Dismount. Cover the southwest and engage a heli to the north with your AA. Over. Read back.
No, Holden made one mistake. Can you guess which one?
Read back as follows, break. Move to dismount point. Dismount. Move southwest and engage helicopter to the north. Over.
Back negative. Move to dismount point. Dismount. Cover southeast. Engage heli to the north with the AA. Over.
He's definitely on the right channel.
Copy. Move to dismount point. Dismount.
Using the wrong radio.
What? Copy. Move to dismount point. Dismount. Cover southeast. Engage helicopter to the north. Over.
We do need to speak about that other fail, which is if you
Affirm.
have the wrong radio on the radio, you've confused every single person on every radio.
Yeah, you were on the wrong radio, my friend.
To be very specific.
Okay, so Holden,
Holden.
wrong radio. Use the
Yeah.
343, yeah?
I noticed it.
So Des, did you have your stereo set up?
Yes.
Did you hear that it was coming in through a different ear?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
It was. Yeah.
but you did well. The readback was perfect. Good work, Des. Holden, really good work as well. The only thing is the end is I would like to hear readback correct once it is correct. Hear the procedure word. That way they know 100%, right?
Read back correct.
Yeah, instead of
Rather than
affirm.
Just affirm.
Yeah, which is, that's correct. This is yes, affirmative, yep. But I want to hear readback correct just as that procedure word. Cool.
Gotcha.
Awesome, thank you. Good work. All right, Lucas, you're up.
I'm stuck here now.
If you fucked up
Embarrassing.
you just have to repeat it.
No longer combat effective. Okay.
If you
I would
fucked it
throw
up, you
myself
would
off
just
a building. I'm pretty sure that's the standard procedure.
because
I see.
generally, if you're on the wrong channel, you're on a 343. So like, only you're in your own squad herd, and they're just gonna make fun of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for
Thing
no,
there.
but what I'm saying, for example, like if you're trying to say
November, this is Foxtrot.
squad channel, but you've set it over command,
Send for
what would you
November,
say?
over.
The
Yeah,
thing
that's
that I
fine.
do is I
disregard
say
previous.
apologies.
Yeah,
disregard previous is the, like,
casualties,
start
combat
stat, pretty
effective
much.
at this time.
Gotcha.
requesting
Yeah,
all
disregard
That's like a
last
vegan
or
thing. You won't
apologies
have to
wrong
say
there.
it. Someone will tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
Full strength, over.
or a shattered.
Currently 5
So, are
combat
you okay
effective.
down there?
Yeah.
What is your lock? Over.
Daryl's gonna go edit
Stand
more
by.
videos.
I thought it'd be later, but no, I gotta have dinner, and my dad's back from the
Location
business trip, so
last time you had dinner, you didn't leave.
082, break 102.
yeah,
just
we're
doesn't
eating
like
outside
us.
this time.
Keypad
So
1, over.
yeah, I can't bring the meal to the table.
Dale, just
We
pull
have a
up
section
chair and
nearby.
eat
Hold in
with us.
place. Move to you.
Oh,
Remember, no one put their chairs in.
do you
Just
know
put
how
the
far I have
chair
to
in.
walk?
Boys, bravo, that was fucking perfect.
That was a really
That
good
was
call,
amazing.
actually.
Yeah, that was
Good job, everybody.
11
I
out of
think
10.
I think everyone across the board
You
did a
can
really
tell
good
that
job,
Jay
That was a
says
great
push to
example.
talk because you
including
heard
you,
him
Holden.
clap.
You guys killed it. All right, go back under the tent. Someone else's turn now.
Dude, I don't have push to talk. Fuck that.
Sorry, not push to talk. Voice activating because you could hear Jace clapping.
Dude,
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
I was on push
say,
to talk,
Whoa.
every single
Go.
message I
Like
spoke
Michelle
wouldn't be
Obama.
heard.
Contact somewhere.
What if he's
What,
clapping on his knee?
Someone say my name.
You like to be
Oh
shown
my
off?
god.
Yeah, no,
that was
man,
good.
It's so much fun.
What if he's
I
clapping
can't believe I
on his
used
knee,
the wrong
though?
radio.
That would work.
Yeah, so
I remember.
I hope
we
it's
were
his knee.
discussing it over here. You can't just say wrong radio on a radio without specifying who and how or why, because you're just going to confuse every single call sign on that radio. Going, was that
True.
me? Did I?
Yeah,
Was
this
I
is
on the wrong
meta,
radio?
though.
So what you generally do is last call sign wrong radio, or if it's a wrong radio, you're probably on the 343.
Yeah, well, he
your
wouldn't even
squad's
hear
gonna
it,
yell. Yeah,
generally.
correct. So you don't need to yell
That's
that
true,
on the
actually.
long range, because if you yell on the wrong range, everyone's gonna go, "Oh fuck, was that me? Am I on the wrong radio?" And you're gonna confuse so many people.
No, Ollie, what tends to happen is that you make the wrong call, you accidentally transmit short range comms on long range.
Yeah, that always
And then what
happens.
happens is instead
Is
of like
you have
a short
5
fight thing,
people
you just
telling you
get
wrong radio.
brutally mocked by 5
Oh,
people.
100%. Yeah, but that's the best way about it. Is if only the people in your squad know it's the best. I always bind the 343 to my caps lock so that I can't fuck up.
That's what
And-
I did. And at the start, I was like, okay, well, we're going to be doing 152 training. I should put it on PTT1. And I was like, oh, I'll leave it
Oh,
on
no.
T2 because that's what I usually do during the ops. And when I was making the transmission, I just forgot.
No, I,
Never change it. Never
yeah,
change
I keep it the same. It's even what I have when I'm on the fire truck and stuff. I've always got my long range on
India,
my right
this is
ear.
Alpha, over.
Mm. When I lost most of my hearing in my right ear, it's like that's on my 343.
India, we are in Vic and currently
I'll
disabled in our
listen to you
current
fuckers.
position. Have enemy infantry pushing from our east. Request you provide cover. Over.
Yeah, trust the veterans to do a good job, eh?
Affirmative, Alpha.
Well, if you just keep the
Alpha,
same
this is
habits,
India.
it's really hard to fuck up.
Central Alpha, over.
It still happens though. Accidents happen.
I'm waiting for an
What
ace
is
com.
the
I'm not used with ace comms and such, so I probably will fuck up there.
Mm.
what is the composition
I'm
of
not
the enemy
confident
force?
with ace comms.
It's like it's worth noting that like a lot of this is just practice.
India,
It's not
composition
hard.
of
You
enemy
just kind of
forces,
have to do
2
it
times
every
enemy
time, and
infantry,
that's
2
part
times
of it.
squad-sized element. Over.
The hard bit
Affirmative, Alpha, moving to squad.
I'm waiting for like 3 weeks down the line when someone finally uses ace call, and then it's just
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Am I
you
floating?
get there.
Wanna
It's-
do-
Yeah, you are.
And like to be honest with you, especially over squad comms and even in smaller operations, you play the man, you don't play the game. Like most of the
That's
time, you
true.
can just sort of speak a lot more casually, and it's fine.
In
But
my
obviously
opinion, the
then-
most important thing is that it just gets true.
It's just that it's
Oh,
understood.
you should hear the
yeah.
yapping that happens on the CFA comms at like a large fire. The amount of fucking yapping.
Oh,
I've
dude,
had
every
two
time I hear,
guys
like,
just had a
mum-
good chat on the command channel. Like
Yeah.
the fucking full command channel. Two guys are just like, yeah, mate, like I was
said,
at
no, I want
Jimmy's, and
Dino
I'm like,
Wingers.
this is command channel. What the fuck's happening right now?
That's such a classic, dude.
Ollie, that is the standard SES radio channel.
Oh, it drives me up the walls. I don't mind on the
Yeah.
short or the fireground channel, but on the fucking long range,
Yeah.
on the it drives me up the walls. My favorite though is when we're rural and we hear mate, that is over. Mate is over in rural areas. If you hear someone say mate, that conversation is done.
Oh.
You can now transmit.
Yeah, dude, what if they go, oh, mate, this fire's getting out of control?
No, they don't do it like that. They never go, oh yeah, and so like that's all good. Good. Have a good day, mate.
Quebec,
Comms clear
this
now.
is
You
Spy
can start
Glass.
talking.
Request fire mission.
Oi,
Over.
mate.
The,
It's a
the
huge
nice
point
thing
in here.
is the bloody whatever it is, PSN or GRN.
Fiberglass,
now.
Quebec, ready
Full
for fire mission.
Australian.
Oh, we've got APS next. They're great.
Oh,
They've got a
Jason's doing a
Fire
fire
mission
mission.
as follows: 1 times HE adjust fire grid 049 break 080 keypad 3.
That's not us.
Who wants to step on him?
I know, right? That's Queen.
049.
Man,
Dig it
fucking
for nine to
keypad
eight.
system.
That'll
don't remember what
be
he
middle of
said.
the map somewhere. We're completely safe. I was just checking in case he was fire
In
missioning
case he
ourselves.
bombs us.
Yeah. See if you're seeing if we're all listening or not.
Hey, Sparks.
So it's southwest of us.
Fiberglass, repeat,
it's miles
grid.
Uh-oh.
He said
He said the word.
Quebec,
Brutal.
Spyglass. 1 times HE
He should have
adjust
just
fire.
fired.
Grids to follow 049
He's a first member, though.
080
You blow
keypad
up just like a
3.
small
Copy.
village.
Yeah.
Just drops the
repeat again.
tube. Drops the water in the tube. Imagine that.
Fire mission 1 times HE on grids 049 080 keypad 3.
Read back correct. Fire when ready.
Ba-da-bum,
Repeat.
ba-da-bum.
Dong, dong.
Now, is he gonna say round complete?
Shot out.
I was gonna say, has he done-
Time flat. 20 seconds.
Shot out on the initial
But he said
call. Okay.
shot over.
Yeah, it's shot
be
over,
fair,
Shot
out.
over, shot out.
To be fair, this
Otherwise,
is all
very
you
did
do
not
too.
cover
Yeah.
proper fire mission.
It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite
That's
things to
true.
hear, Dino, when you're on it and you go shot over, and I'm like, yes, 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 that's so cool every time.
No, it's like
Splash
there are
over.
times where I mix up the two
Splash
words and
over
then I
it,
kick
especially.
myself afterwards. It's like fuck.
Nothing is cooler than the artillery
out.
controller calling splash as it hits the ground, and it's like, oh, he nailed that. He knew exactly when that was going to land.
But the problem is,
Quebec Spyglass, good
You
effects
get
on
your
target.
head
No need for
Yeah, you
re-attack.
don't
Stand
get
by for
time.
further orders.
So I always do splash 10. I say splash in 10 over.
yes.
That's a
It
good one,
gives you
actually.
10 seconds to start screaming
gonna
that
say,
you're
has
about to have your
everyone-
heads cut off.
Alrighty, guys,
Close enough
break,
to get in the
break.
whack.
Break. How does that feel? Is everyone good with that? Everyone got a chance to do a call out and everything like that?
Sparks did
Yeah, that was
it.
fun.
He said
Break
repeat.
there,
Oh yeah,
Jace.
Sparks.
Yeah. So let's do a little bit of
Didn't
analysis.
Sparks get here like after the entire thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
Sparks
Unfortunately,
is
I also
not-
have to go.
Sparks is
Give me
not
the
doing
cliff notes.
Okay, so let's do a quick review. So who did 5 missions just then? Who was the first one to go?
Me.
What?
Yep, Holden. So Holden used the wrong radio. Other than that,
Oh, I said over and then read back because I forgot.
yeah. And then I think there was another thing. Shit, I wish I'd written it down. Does anyone remember? Anyone got any notes for Holden?
I've
Oh
already
yeah, that was
spoken
right.
about-
Read back complete. Read back correct wasn't said. That was the only other thing. You said affirmative, which is correct. It works, you know. But I think that for the procedure words when you're doing a read back, people are looking for that read back correct so they can go, oh, thank God. Cool.
Stop sweating.
Yeah. Awesome. Who was next?
After
Then it was me.
question about that actually. Sorry.
November.
Yeah, go ahead. Very quick. Tony?
When someone provides a readback, should they also like say like, you know, you're free to action that, or anything like that, or just readback correct is the permission?
Read back correct is good, and then say proceed maybe.
Okay.
Because my assumption is if you're giving them commands, that you're giving them the commands, they have to do what you've told them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Readback's just confirming that they are going to do
you
what you
kind of
told them
don't.
to do.
You kind of
If
don't really
it's-
need to waste more
If
words.
it's meant to be a delay, it should be in the command.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct,
Yeah, cool. That's,
Otherwise, you've
yeah.
essentially given them two lots of commands.
Cool, that's what I thought.
Okay, cool. Next, who was the next transmission? So it was Lucas and
Lucas
I?
to
That one was fantastic. You guys went above and beyond. Fucking show offs.
I know, I love Lump. She's so good.
Yeah, that was
shut up,
beautiful.
Ollie.
It was beautiful work, and it was a very good example of good brevity. You guys asked follow-up questions in a very concise way and a relevant way. You didn't ask for irrelevant information. It was very relevant to the task at hand, and you know, it was very concise and very brief. So very good work.
I missed the contact composition. I didn't know what they were fighting, just in a squad. They were fighting a platoon of tanks.
I get told what I was fighting.
Yeah, made it up. It was great. You guys did yes and improv. Awesome. But yeah, no notes from me. That was very good. Very good example. All right, who was the next one?
Me and Mac, I think.
Yep. How did we feel about that one?
I think it went well. I was expecting to get asked for a location, so I already had my map open, and then I was asked for size composition. I had to bullshit it, and I said 2 times twice.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like a terrible thing though.
Yeah, I guess you could say I specified that both of the squads were squad-sized elements. I did say 2 times enemy infantry, 2 times squad-sized element. But it's just not like very brief.
You could cut it down. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. But that's good. You've identified a point where there is room for improvement on the brevity's sake, but the clarity was good. So that's good. And I thought the message was received in a very timely manner. In that case, I think maybe like other than that little fumble, I think it was very concise and very clear. Everyone agree?
Yep.
Cool.
I also forgot the word for unit composition as well, so I had to say break.
Yeah,
to,
you
like,
did. Yeah.
remember what
But
the
that was
word.
good that you used the procedure word, right? You got it, and that's like just might be what it's like. Then also you had to reestablish a dialogue because of the way that the message kind of naturally concluded, right?
Yeah.
I would say that probably wasn't entirely necessary because no other call sign jumped in and started another dialogue, and also you guys hadn't said like over and out or anything like that, right?
Better safe than sorry, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
better safe than sorry, exactly right. But again, that was time that used up radio bandwidth and like brevity and stuff like that. But in that case, if you had that like you had already had that dialogue established, Chip, your call sign was alpha, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would have just said like alpha interrogative or alpha report strength of enemy force or whatever, right? I wouldn't have established the dialogue, but I understand why you thought that was necessary. So that was still a good call, and it was like you erred on the side of caution and just reestablished it anyway to be safe, made sure that they were listening. Cool.
Yeah, I think it was because such a length of time had passed, even though no one had,
Yeah.
stepped on it yet. If I was a bit quicker on the gun, I would have absolutely just done
Yeah,
that.
that's right. And also, it kind of did feel like the transmission had concluded. I agree. The natural kind of flow of it felt like it was done. So that was good. That was really good work. Nice work, Mac and Chip. All right, and then what was the next one after that?
It was the fire mission between you and Ross.
Okay, so what was the big blunder?
Repeat.
If we're being
But
super
that was by
anal-
you, wasn't it?
Yes.
No,
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 it was by Ross.
It was Ross.
But
It's
if
fine then, because he's not going to relaunch missiles in his hand.
He's the
That's
spotter,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't that bad. And also, in terms of getting the information across, the readback was 100% perfect. It came through very quickly and concisely. I tried to throw Ross for a curveball because we did it last week. I wanted to see if we could keep it rolling and use that example, and we did. It was very good. So thank you, Ross. Good job.
I misheard the.
Well, he's still
Oh,
quiet.
shot out. He said shot out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, shot over, shot out. Yeah.
Yeah, the spotter calls out, the gunner just tells you he's fired.
Yeah. Other than that, perfect. Awesome stuff. Okay, so yeah, as I was kind of saying before, it's not that hard. It's good to practice, right? It's just stuff that takes a lot of practice, and then until it becomes so second nature that like when you're doing it in an operation, you don't need to think about it, right? That's the thing.
In
So
the heat of like an operation combat, as you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
people yelling.
exactly, in the pursuit of passion, yeah,
Yes, very easy to lose it.
absolutely. So that's why we practice, and that's why we drill. So everyone did super well. I would like to do more of that, but I think I'm just going to bore you all to death, and it's a weeknight, so we're not going to do that. But practice in your own time, and also actively listen to other people's transmissions, critique them, even if you don't have to go up to them and say like, oh, you should have said this and that. It's like, no, I would have said something different. That's how you learn. That's how you improve.
One actually,
Do it to yourself as well.
One thing I had trouble listening to was the location. Like, it's really good to use reference markers, like referencing around you, and not just your location, because your location moves constantly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's a bit hard here because we're just doing a prac in a middle of a medical wing. But when you're giving lock stats or general missions about where stuff is, using references or like we're 200 meters east of town, echo whatever, contact to our 300 meters north or something.
Yeah, absolutely. References is a very good one, and that's something that is covered in further detail when you're actually doing reports in TTP4. But again, that's like more format rather than like radio procedure. But yeah, good point. Alrighty then. Okay, well in that case, I don't think we waste any more time on that. Let's move on, shall we? How does everyone feel about radio comms?
Yay!
Yeah,
More practice needed.
just turned
I feel
off,
good about it.
so I don't know how you feel. Which is, very bad if you guys are trying to send me a transmission and I can't receive it. I'll be back in a sec.
It sounds like Jace's problem. Everybody run away quick.
Hide, quick, hide.
Everyone
Someone,
DC.
someone.
Oh shit, can I have a...
I'm gonna cover him in mustard smoke. Check this out.
Chip sharing's caring. Are they in your backpack?
Hold on, where is he? Here he is.
There's meters. They're not even 20 meters away. That's not snitching. They're still on your radar. They didn't hide at all.
What happened? Where did everyone?
Okay, let's go. Let's lock in.
Fled. Sure, I wouldn't say shit, but I can physically see them.
Nice work.
You should have thrown a grenade.
You want another smoke, Des?
I would love another smoke.
Gas, gas, gas!
Can you pick it up?
I've
Nope.
done it.
It's already been thrown.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. So yeah, absolutely no questions about brevity or procedure words or anything like that. Everyone's kind of got a good understanding of how that all kind of flows and everything like that.
Yep. Yes.
Awesome. So again, this list is not yet publicly available, but it will be relatively soon. Once we get TTP4 slides done and like prototyped and tested and all that sort of shit, this information will be stuff that you can view in your own time, and you can even have up on your second monitor during an operation if you're not sure. Which is the whole point of TTPs being in slides in the first place.
I just had a quick.
2 monitors, la-di-da.
Get it up on your phone, bro.
Yeah.
Like a Vista.
You don't have games on your phone?
Or your shift tab, you know, in Armor, you can bring up the like
Yeah,
web
true.
browser. Yeah.
Game crash.
Just if you can't do that, buy a tablet. Put a tablet
Alt
next to
tabbing
you.
out of armor. That's a good joke.
I just had a thought, Chase.
Yeah.
When it comes to like readbacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it better to say, like, if they make a mistake, is it better to say correction and then like repeat what might have been missed, or is it better to just say readback incorrect and then go from there?
You don't want to say correction because it sounds too similar to correct.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
You want to say
Bad readback, I say
yeah,
again.
negative. Negative is a good one. It's like no, right? And then say like I've got a
Cool.
Yeah.
Easy.
You just do
Avoid
it again.
incorrect.
Yeah.
Because if you cut off in, you've just said correct on the radio.
Yeah. And there's
Really good
civilians in
tip.
the grid that they read back, right? Like, not good.
No, that would never happen.
Big dramas. Okay.
Good tip
Big
I had when I was
promise.
learning radio
No,
when I was in was always try to like just think about the kind of message that you're sending and the information that you want to convey. You can always take 10 seconds, generally speaking, before you transmit, especially over platoon comms when comms are a little bit less, I guess, urgent or chatted than they can be in squad comms. Just like work the sentence out in your head before you hit the transmit button. It'll save you a lot of headache when you're actually talking to someone.
Absolutely.
Real.
Think before
That's
you speak.
real. Real.
Hell, if you have to, write it down.
The amount of times I've said that to people, and then in the heat of the moment, it just goes out the window.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Like
that's a
once they say
training
like
thing.
send
Yeah.
traffic, your whole message like falls out of your ass, and you're like,
I need to be
I
quick.
love you.
Well, breaks are really good there.
Eminem.
Dad,
I've got a long
Alpha? I
message.
mean, not Dad. I mean, Delta. Oh, no.
Or do what I do and lie about being in contact.
I need to
That is a
love you in a
Freudian
message
slip.
like
It's really funny.
Dad, can we
What's
resupply
next,
now?
boss?
I really want to
Yes,
put a love
Mom.
you in a
Oh,
message. Yeah, I really want to do that now.
I love you.
Love you. Over. I mean, no. I mean, I do, but no.
I mean, I love you as like a brother.
I love you. Over.
Oh, so good.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
But I
Oh,
really
shut.
So
Let's
impersonal.
Echo, acknowledge.
Oh wow, you just got left on red. Damn. Cool. Anyway, let's move on. So this next part is going to be a little bit more focusing on like actual tactical decision making and stuff like that. I'm wary of the time. I know it's already fucking 9 o'clock. In terms of like the practical components and how this is all going to kind of work and shit like that, this is going to be a lot more kind of like we just talk it through. Like I'll give you my thoughts, you guys give me your thoughts and stuff like that. And we're just going to be drawing stuff on a map pretty much. So yeah, let's give it a go, shall we? Let's fucking like let's draw up a fake scenario and like talk about what we should do, right?
Evacuating La Trinité. We're pulling
Don't
out.
forget you are Zeus.
Why
So
are
you
you
could just
designing
make
that?
us all invulnerable and put us on hills with enemies and make us.
You know, that's
see
better
things.
than a map, but I want to do
I was
some
gonna
map
say.
reading for a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
Why
Never
design
really
that?
figured who would take
Quick
the
question.
lead.
Well, I figured we'd all just pretend to be in charge of different elements, right?
Right, what's your question? Go ahead.
we've got a
Your
Zeus, so
sit
we don't
reps.
know.
How often do you want to sit rep from a Seco?
Oh, you know what? You are so right. I
It's only-
completely forgot about a major section of what I plan to do. You fucking just reminded me.
Was it state changes?
Yeah, state changes.
Yeah.
I fully fucking forgot. Thank you, Pi. That's a great question. So, real quick, we'll circle back to doing the map marker shit in a minute. What we're going to talk about in real quick now is like, oh, now that you know how to use the radio and how to do a radio transmission, when do you use your radio and when do you do a radio transmission? So
When
this
shit
is
hits the fan.
this is a really good thing that a lot of newer squad leaders really struggle with is figuring out when to notify Platco. And a lot of the time, a lot of the radio calls that we see on network, even from experienced squad leaders, is stuff that kind of doesn't really need to be communicated. And that's like one of the biggest things for keeping the radio network clear is like you can be as concise and brief as you want to be, but if there was no point in making that transmission in the first place, it kind of was pointless, right? You're taking up radio space essentially. So let's talk about this thing that I came up with. I'm not sure if this is used anywhere or what, or if it's even a good idea. You guys might hate it, you might love it, it might work, it might not. I call them state updates. Essentially, the concept is when you're notifying Platco as a squad leader, when should you notify Platco? When should you check in with Platco? What should you tell Platco, right? The way that I consider this to work, essentially, let's talk about it from the perspective of, we've actually got some map markers already. Let's talk about this Alpha 1-1 position here that Valk's drawn. We've got an MG nest set up on the hill looking down into the valley, right? The position here, and with the current situation, let's just say that Platco has assigned Alpha 1-1 to move up the valley, and then Alpha 1-1 has started taking contact from the MG nest, right? As far as Platco was previously aware, we're going to assume that the situation, like Platco might not be on the ground with Alpha 1-1. We're going to assume that the situation is not very clear to Platco. Alpha 1-1's state changed. As they move into the valley, their state changes from being static in a holding position to Platco notifying them and telling them that they're going, right? So Platco's orders might be Alpha 1-1, move down the valley towards St. Louis, clear the outskirts of the town. So Alpha 1-1 would respond, understood, will comply. They move off. When they step off, they notify Platco that they've stepped off. Platco, Alpha 1-1, stepping off now. Platco says acknowledged. Alpha 1-1 moves down the valley, and until that state has been communicated to have changed, Platco is going to assume that Alpha 1-1 is going to move off into infinity along that bearing. Okay?
Or very slowly.
Or very slowly, that's right. Platco is going to assume that until you have told them otherwise, they're still doing the previous tasking, right? So they're just going to be moving off into infinity down the valley, or until they reach the previously agreed upon point, which was to clear the outskirts of St. Louis, right? If Alpha gets stopped on their advance, MGNS appears, that is a state change. Alpha has stopped moving and is now taking fire. That's a new state that needs to be communicated. This applies to pretty much everything that happens in an operation. You can do this for anything, right? You can do this for like all sorts of different things. Like let's give, like Platco's got a phase line, right? Platco's put a bunch of phase lines on the map. Boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? In that order. As Alpha 1-1 approaches phase line 1, they're going to approach phase line 1 and then they'll notify Platco, this is Alpha 1 passing phase line 1. Cool. Does that all kind of make sense? So this is what I mean by state change. Is there any questions about what kind of constitutes a state or how it kind of fits together and how it works?
Another good one is when you're at a checkpoint holding a blocking force and you got like no contact for like 10-15 minutes, you can sort of prompt to say, hey, we're useful to be somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say even less, to be honest with you. That's definitely like a state thing, right? The Platco in this case, I would assume that the Platco is keeping up with the squad's situational awareness because of the fact that their state hasn't really changed. And this is not something that is the squad leader's call to make. The Platco might want them to be in that position for a longer period of time, right? Or they might they might have higher intel, right? There's things that the Platco knows that the squad leaders don't, and vice versa as well, I will say. But in this case, I'm going to take the assumption that the squad has been left on that flank for a reason, right? However, the Platco is not infallible. The Platco can make mistakes. And when you're playing as a squad leader in BTAC, the number one thing that we say, and always like when we're talking about like why do we do the command team and stuff like that, the reason is because the squad leader is the number one thing that dictates whether or not the squad has fun. It doesn't really matter how good the mission is, doesn't really matter how good like the other members of the squad are. If the squad leader isn't doing a good job of making the mission fun for the players, there's not really a lot that they can do to really enjoy themselves. So in that regard, what you're talking about is not so much like a tactical thing. It's more of like a, at least from my perspective, it's more about like, I'm going to ensure that my squad is having a good time and they've got stuff to do rather than sitting on a hill watching an empty field for like 15 minutes, right? It's like, you got to think about, are the people in my squad having fun? Have we been given a good enough tasking to do stuff with? And if not, the Platco's been negligent in their responsibilities. And it's up to you as the squad leader to communicate up the line to the Platco and get a new tasking. And that's just all about the communication again. So a radio call in that example might look like, in fact, you know what? Why doesn't someone other than Captain Pie give me an example of what that radio call might look like in this example? Maybe one of the newer guys. Someone who's not got much experience doing radio calls. Dez or Leon or someone like that.
What do you call me out?
Because I know that you're not experienced doing squad leading.
As you said, he knows you well.
He knows that I can't read.
Yeah, he knows a lot about you.
I mean, you could rise to the challenge
Yeah, sure.
if you want to
It's
learn how
also
to squad lead.
sinking to the failure of it, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that one.
Hey, then it's only up, right? Once you touch the bottom.
And
of
like,
the
No,
arrow.
if
you
have a
can
crack
move
and it's wrong,
laterally at
we
the
can
bottom.
we can talk about it. There's no harm, no foul, right? So have a go. What would the radio call look like in that situation?
So say the situation again. I'm fucking half
You weren't
asleep.
listening, is what you're saying.
No,
Cool,
I'm
awesome.
half
Moving on.
Oh,
Someone else.
Shots fired.
Would you go just Alpha? This is. Oh, sorry, actual. This is Alpha. Ready for further tasking.
Yep, something like that. Honestly, I would initialize the dialogue. So, actual alpha, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then I would say, once they've like ready to send message, I would be like, actual, this is alpha. We have very little contact on this side. I request new tasking, or if you have identified a point of failure that the Placo has not, like maybe you have a better situation of that flank that the Placo can't see. Maybe it's like, it's a better position 300 meters to our west. Request that we move there and set up a base of fire or something like that. Right? How does that feel? Does that feel like it was a decently concise way to kind of convey that message? Cool. Awesome. All right. So that's just kind of like a good kind of way to think about that. Awesome. So let's now move to doing some. We're not going to do state updates. I think that's pretty explanatory. Does anyone have any questions about state updates? Because if not, we'll move on to the map drawings and shit. Very disorganized, I know. But
I would say that for me, the way I remember it is that anytime that the person above you in the chain of command that you've changed from whatever he's told you to do, you need to tell him about it.
Yeah.
That you can't solve yourself. Someone gets shot once and you can heal with your medic, he doesn't really need to know about it right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But if you're in a situation where you can no longer actively achieve the objectives he's set for you, you need to tell him.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that one, taking casualties, right? I use this as a metric of like, is the squad combat effective? Was the squad combat effective before taking the casualty, right? If the squad was moving through the valley, in our example on the and
cut out for a second.
No, I think he caught it.
If the MG Nest is firing down on Alpha 1-1, Alpha 1-1 sustains one casualty, but their tasking is like still unaffected. They've already notified Placo of the MG Nest. Placo's aware. Alpha 1-1 doesn't need to go, oh, state update, I've sustained one casualty, because their state hasn't technically changed. Just because they've taken one casualty doesn't mean they're not combat effective still. Their state of being combat effective is the same, right? If they take 4 casualties, medics hands down, squad leaders walking wounded, and there's not enough people to put hands on bodies, they are no longer combat effective. Their state is now changing from combat effective to not combat effective. So that's a state update that needs to be communicated to the Placo. Make sense?
I have a quick little comment on that,
Yep.
if you don't mind. In
Absolutely.
terms of combat effectiveness and relaying it up to Platcom, it's going to be very mission dependent. And I think that's something that's important to realize as well. If you have a very specific mission that your squad is set out to do, and something happens, so you take a casualty, whether it be 1 through 4, whatever. So let's say, for example, we're looking at the MG Nest and Alpha 1-1 example here. If Alpha 1-1's objective is to defend the town of San Luis against the MG Nest, they're taking sporadic fire. Maybe over the course of 5 or 6 minutes, they've had 3 or 4 guys go down.
Mm-hmm.
They might still be actually relatively combat effective, provided the MG Nest is not actively advancing on San Luis. They're able to entrench and hold their positions because it's a lot easier to be defensive with casualties. If their objective was to, flank and destroy the MG Nest, all of a sudden you're looking at maybe 2 casualties causes you to go combat ineffective.
Yeah,
if you're sweeping for mines, if your sapper goes down, in a way, you're mission ineffective, you're combat ineffective because the one person that you need to perform that job is no longer able to do that. So I think it's all very, it's mission and situation dependent. Same as if like the medic goes down, like that's 1 casualty, but you don't move. You don't move until the medic gets back up. Arguably one of the most important people in the squad.
Oh, not even arguably, I'd say for sure one of the most important people. But yeah, no,
But
that's
just something to keep in mind. Yeah, and like obviously
fantastic
squad
point.
size and stuff as well. Like a 4-man recon squad is combat ineffective at 2 casualties, but if you're like the Marines run like a 13-man squad, you take 2 casualties, you're probably all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something that we do see as well. Our missions will have, depending on the mission maker, quite a bit of variability in terms of the squad composition and squad size. For the most part, like 99% of the time, you'll see 8-player squads. Sometimes up to 10-player squads, and like absolutely very, very good point. It is very eloquently put as well. It is absolutely mission dependent, and it's not just like the mission for the night. It's also the mission that the Platco has given you. It's tasking dependent. which is something to keep note of as well. And that's just something that you guys will gain with time and experience, right? It's something that there kind of is no skill ceiling for, like knowing whether or not your squad is combat effective. Can we actually push? Can we actually fight? It'll be dependent on who's in your squad on the night, whether they're G'd up and ready to go, whether you've maintained squad cohesion throughout the op, whether they're bored or frustrated, or all these different factors. There's infinite variables, really. But it's a judgment call at the end of the day, is what we're trying to say. It's a judgment call that's made by the squad leader at the end of the night, and that's where the skill of squad leading is, and that's where the fun of it is as well.
Yeah, one extra one on top of that would be the skills of your squad members, not just their specific role, but their skills. I can trust some members to just fucking kill 30 troops immediately, and you might just learn that through time that there are certain players you can trust to be well above and beyond. Not that that is a negative to anyone else, but you can trust some people to be more combat effective than others.
The way that
So
I
you
would
can
phrase
align
that is that I would say, as a squad leader, you should be aware of the individual, and you should be aware of the reason that they play the game. So if
Correct,
someone's here to be like, some people might be here for the like, oh, I want the high kill count, and that's fun and great and fine. There's other people that come here for the authentic Milsim experience. You know these people and you know them because we're friends. That's what our BTAC's all about, right? And so it's about giving them the tasking that corresponds to why they play the game.
100%.
Sorry, I was a little bit late, but do you mind if I could get a example of the combat effectiveness, like just between Platco and all that, or not yet?
Like a radio
call? You mean like a radio call?
Yeah.
You missed all the radio call stuff. I'm not going to go back and do it now.
That's all right. Fair enough. I'll
next
watch
time.
the video.
Yeah, next
It'll
time.
be on yeah. There you go.
We went really in depth on the radio stuff. So but no, I understand. Thanks, Spark. Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
I'll send you a video after this is done.
Cheers.
All right, maps.
Yeah, so let's do the maps. So looking at this situation that Valk's drawn up, let's do this as like a platoon commander's like tactical decision making, right? I've got an Alpha 1-2 still in reserve down here. Alpha 1-1 has stepped off with the tasking moving towards St. Louis. Maybe we had like sporadic contact from the north side of the ridge, and so I left Alpha 1-2 in reserve to kind of hold this angle. Let's also say that dun, dun, dun. Sorry, this is going to take a little minute. Okay, so tactical decision making. Let's have a talk about the current situation that's outlined on the map. Calls just come in. BTR 60 spotted on the MSR, moving southeast into the town of St. Louis, rushing for the crossroads. There'd be sporadic infantry contact in St. Louis itself. And they would just be kind of like holding positions. Your tasking is to clear St. Louis. And in fact, I'm going to move Alpha 1-1 back. We're going to do this as like a full planning phase from the outset, right? This is the intel that you have. The mission is to clear St. Louis, okay?
We don't know about the MG.
You will know about it from ISR.
Cool.
You don't know about any of the positions other than what's on the map. There could be unknowns, okay? The combat area is this black box. You're not to stray outside of the black box. Objective is to clear St. Louis. All right. So, who would like to go first and just talk a little bit about where their head is at looking at the map right now?
Yeah, I can if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Love to hear your thoughts, JJ.
I was thinking sending Alpha 1-1 up north to go around behind the MG nest.
Mhm.
Take over that position as a vantage point looking over the town of
Hold on,
St. Louis.
Valkyrie. I was just going to say, JJ,
Yeah, sorry, yeah, I should
you
be doing it,
draw
yeah.
your markers as though you're giving this as a briefing to your players, right?
So Alpha 1-1 goes around to take the MG nest as an overlook position. Alpha 1-2 will hold position and support by fire while Alpha 1-1 moves. Once Alpha 1-1 takes MG position, Alpha 1-2 will move into the town of St. Louis and take out the enemy BTR inside St. Louis and clear the town.
Okay. Cool. Does it change your plan if I say that Alpha 1-1 has the mat and Alpha 1-2 doesn't?
Sorry, what did you say that one?
Alpha 1-1 has the medium anti-tank. Alpha 1-2 doesn't. Does that change your plan?
Yes, it would. It would. I would reverse the roles. To be honest.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. So For me personally, if I had 2 squads, I would want to try and maintain what I would call like platoon cohesion a little bit more, and I would not be sending a squad on such a wide flank. This feels very wide for me personally. I would be looking at the topography of the terrain here. Can the MG Nest even see us from a certain position? I don't believe so. I think that pretty much all of the stuff behind this blue line I'm drawing now, like all of this, is in shadow from the MG. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This ridgeline, they would still be able to see, I think.
If the MG Nest is on the SBF position, is kind of what I was imagining, like closer facing down towards the town.
Oh,
right?
if they're closer to the town, then yeah,
Assume the MG
Yeah.
Nest can slightly maneuver.
Because I was under the impression the MGNS was direct MG mark, not the actual.
Gotcha.
arrow
Yeah.
one.
You should always
Well,
assume
you've
that
got
an
all
MG
this-
could slightly maneuver. It's
Yeah,
not
all
like
this
all
dead ground
fixed
up
in
here.
place.
It's a cliff here, so you're going to get pretty far north before you
Yeah.
down.
Very dead ground. But again, that does leave you without mutual support. So if I had my Alpha 1 element go up and around like this, and then my Alpha 1-2 element stay in position, there's not really a lot of mutual support going on. Honestly, what I would probably look at doing here is I would just go straight up the guts to the MG Nest. I know it's not like kind of where your mind's at for thinking about flanking and shit like that, but my MG Nest is facing down this way already, and I'm thinking of giving my Alpha 1-1 the tasking of moving into either this forest here or going across to the compound down here, and potentially even drawing the fire of the MG Nest so that they can fix and flank it with the maneuver element that's going up onto the MG Nest. There's scattered terrain cover here. There's some trees and some rocks and stuff. And there's also a bit of like cover up at this point here. Looking at the height mapping as well, if I control right click and I view the height mapping, I think that everything beyond this point here is actually in defilade cover. I think that this jut out here is keeping this like a shadow like in this side here. That's my read of the map. We can go there in a minute and Zeus and have a look.
No, it is. Looking at the height map, it does dip off more sharply after that point. So if you sneak up to it, yeah, you'd be in cover.
What I would describe is that this isn't a firing position. This is a firing position that they could attack from here, right? Which would enable them to use reverse slope, which is that idea where they're really close to the slope and they can see over the top of it and attack the MG Nest, right?
With moving both squads, I assume you'd move 1-1 later, because it's going to take 1-2 a lot more time to go straight up this pretty much a cliff face, pretty steep. Where 1-1, if you both set off at the same time, you're going to be 1-1's going to be all the way down here, and they're going to be engaged
And
by
they're
the
going to be taking
MG
fire by the MG
before
exactly.
1-2 even gets up here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The other cool thing though as well is that I'm thinking that in terms of like the mission flow and stuff like that, I would probably have both my squads set off around the same time, and then once they respond to contact, once they react to contact, if the plan was to set them off at the same time, I wouldn't have Alpha 1-1 go this route here. I would actually have them go closer to that dip and then take the forest essentially. So these 2 squads would be moving in a squad line formation side by side, supporting each other, mutual support until they get engaged, and then from there it's react and respond. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree?
I have other thoughts, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
I just think
I
it is
agree.
incredibly risky.
I wouldn't do that
So,
either.
Again, I'd like to sort of, I guess, big picture this and determine what was the objective? What was the primary objective? It wasn't to destroy an MG Nest. It was to clear out the town of St. Louis.
I mean, the MG Nest is a big threat there.
Look, I mean, if you're talking 50 cals, sure, it's going to be really dependent. To be honest with you, if I'm going to fight the MG Nest, I'd actually be more than happy to do it out of the town itself. And so, my map tools are fucked up. If I'm looking at this, I'm actually kind of just looking at conducting a platoon assault through the south of the town, which is the least defended side, which is not as overwatched by an MG Nest. And if the BTR wants to come into the opening jaws of urban combat with a map, it is more than fucking welcome, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
This avoids the split, keeps the mission on pace, and yeah, look, an MG Nest plinking at us from, because again, we need to look at distance. People were talking about engaging the MG Nest from the initial position. This is 900 meters. I'm not that good of a fucking shot, to be quite honest with you.
I was talking about it from this SBF
Yes,
here.
no, not you. Initially, someone was like,
Oh, I
engage
see.
as an SBF from here. I was like, well, I don't know what kind of rifles you guys are using, but they're not 5.56, that's for sure. If we
MG
want to
punch
talk
out
about an
further
MG
than
Nest
you.
plinking at us from 600 or 700 meters away, to be honest with you, if we are in a town of San Luis, which looks relatively dense, relatively flush with hard cover, I'm kind of just willing to let that happen as I push up to the town. Once the town is clear, we can establish a defensive position. If the BTR wants to try us and come, it can, and eliminate the MG nest from a position of safety and security where not only are we closer with this sort of like level of fire here on the edge of town, but also we now have additional defilade to send around and flank.
Yeah, nice. I think that's a good plan. I think it's a really solid plan.
I think
I disagree. You're
chemical mortars.
moving out of the way in front of the enemy. So if you get pinned down that by the MG at some point, and then the BTR rolls up, you have more than one problem. Whereas if you go with the original plan we had, where you're coming up here, the BTR is not going to be able to help.
Threats, right?
Yeah, you're isolating it. The BTR is not going to be able to support that MG. If
I
you're
think
going, I
as
get what
well-
you mean, like
sorry.
using
That
the
would also
foliage
depend
and
on
the
numbers, though.
terrain. But as soon as you get to the center of town, you have a whole jar of pickles you open where you're going to have infantry likely throughout the town, the MG on the
Okay.
hill, and a BTR rolling in.
So here's how I
let's just-
don't disagree with either plan. I think both have very, very good merits. But breaking it down in my mind, the BTR 60, do we know any intel on like its time of arrival? Do we have that?
It was literally just spotted from
My
your
assumption is
staging
it's
point.
parked there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
accurate information.
It
Which is
was
also
spotted
sort
from
of
the
a
staging point, and it's
worry.
moving towards the crossroads in the center of St. Louis. So
Okay, so it's moving into St. Louis.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Meaning that is their like primary. That is the primary threat of like any operation.
It's
at
a
this
BTR
point.
60.
Even it's still a mobile armored vehicle that rifles anything to.
It's essentially a mobile machine gun that we can't just kill.
Exactly.
easily.
The
So
MG
it's more
nest-
of a threat than an MG nest.
The MG nest is like it's a threat, 100%, especially if you're like moving in the open. But I wouldn't be taking the MSR regardless. I'd be doing something like Valkyrie said, where I'd be like taking the defilade, going through the forests and the buildings, going into St. Louis, and then clearing it that way. The issue with the BTR is because it is so mobile. You either need to beat it to the center of town, or you need to find a better spot to ambush and eliminate that threat, and then start engaging the infantry. That's my thought. BTR 60 is what I guess what you would call their center of gravity, right? It's the heaviest and most dangerous piece of kit that they have that we know of. And it would be very, very dangerous to let.
All right. Let's
run free.
say this. I was assuming MG nest was a static cord or something like a HMG. Does that change your plan if it's a HMG instead of a medium machine gun?
HMG is very scary, yes.
Like
But
kind
the
of.
BTR 60 is, in my mind, scarier because it's so mobile and
Yep.
rifles. You can suppress an MG position. You can't really suppress an armored vehicle.
car.
Yeah.
Work off what Dana
Alrighty.
said.
So this
You
is
know
my
what?
plan.
Your spot.
Can
We
I do
can
my
talk.
plan?
Let's talk about this. We can talk about this till we're blue in the face. Pa, you do your plan, and I think we can go in and actually see the terrain and kind of come to a decision from that. But again, I want to say that there's no kind of like perfect world where one plan is
No,
going to
there
be better
isn't.
than the other. It's a hypothetical situation. Like the discussion is like really good. I'm really happy with how this is going. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
So
I
Pi,
was
give
going
us
to say, I
your
think
give us
that
your
the
rundown.
fact that everyone has different ideas is really fucking cool.
So my idea was you got this massive hill here. You can move behind that to the north, fully hidden from the town. So you can move both teams up here, get base on the rocks. One team can take it to the MG nest as another team circles further down. Once these guys clear that, they can move further down as well. Bump this team, set up a new MG position here, and then this team can move further down. You got all these buildings you can bound in through, and you got a long sight line for an MG team down here. So you got MG facing from down the hill, MG facing down the road, as the bulk of the force pushes through the buildings.
Yeah,
So you're
nice.
doing like an external clear almost.
I was going to say the only
Yeah.
downside to those ones
Is you
is
got
external threat. Yeah.
If something's up this
And it
way,
takes a long time to maneuver.
That's what
around
I was
the
going to
map
say.
As well as the
That's-
other
It's a
Exactly what I was
click
going to say.
Pacing.
In terms of mission pacing and like mission flow, I would
I'd hope we were
personally avoid that
motorised.
plan. No, we're on foot. We're on
No,
foot.
we're
It's just pure
just-
infantry.
I don't know.
So
The other
let's
thing to
narrow
remember
it.
as well.
Can I
You got
quickly ask
contact to
opinions
click away,
about a
though.
spot?
Yeah, go on, Lucas.
What about this one here? Like, what do we think about that? If we moved firing spot to there, you've got partial coverage
That's in dead
from
ground.
some sort of a building. You've got some sort of coverage potentially from these trees up towards MGS. I'm not sure how high those are. And then if you're thinking the BTR's got to approach via the MSR, you've kind of got a tree line screening you in a potential ambush zone.
Okay, aside from the actual building, I think reading the map that I think that building's in dead ground. I can go and check it in a minute. I think that the position itself, like not counting for the building, is pretty good. I think that it does all the things you solve. But again, it does leave you exposed to that HMG. It was kind of again, maybe you guys were thinking it was an MMG. I immediately thought it was a HMG, but maybe that's changed the
My
kind
brain
of
went
thinking.
MMG.
I thought that HMG was a bigger threat than the BTR, which is why I wanted my squads pushing up the ridgeline. Let's go and let's go and have a look. Why don't we go and actually fucking check it out? I'm going to teleport to that building, Lucas.
Hear me out. This would
I
be a
think that
really
building
good
might
Zeus
work.
op to test out. Like whoever's
make us
playing
do
it,
it now.
whoever's playing it is Platco, or they're like Alpha 1 actual.
Why would you
And
do this to us?
you just split
We just do
group
the
up
same
in-
mission 3 times with 3 different ways.
Yeah.
I do want to do a night where we just do testing stuff like that.
Yeah,
where
actually,
it's just-
legitimately
limit testing.
I mean, training is probably the best spot for it, though. Like
That-
when
that
you
would
actually...
probably be a good
You guys
way to
ready?
do it,
We're
training
going to go to
for us all.
Lucas's building first, just to check that it is in dead ground, which it is.
Oh, yeah, that's so...
Yeah, this is good. No,
That
this is
provides
good.
us good
Look,
cover on this ridge line. So
full
So
cover
it's
here.
good for an
where's
ambush.
where's the
This
machine
is
gun?
cover and concealment.
The machine gun is to the west. Like pretty much from here, it is
Can you put smoke on the positions?
300 degrees. Yeah, it's 300 degrees is the machine gun.
There's a
Ah.
light. There's a.
Oh, I see the position anyway.
I'm going to put a signal flare on the MG
You
next.
do have a
so
bit
we can
of
see it from
coverage.
everywhere.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, so if you were taking... Sure, the rounds are going to fly in and murder you if you sit up, but if you just pulled it back, you'd be fine.
Yeah. This
Okay.
is a great little road.
It'd be
to
scary,
stay
though.
behind.
This would be a scary spot to be.
Yeah,
for
it
Team
is.
5.
I think this plan works. I like this one. All right, let's go and check let's go and check up the other route. So I'm looking at the route that Valkyrie lined out. So let's
The
go
one
to
that goes
town
straight
of-
south and then
Yeah, the one that. So this is the first thing that I kind of identified in Zeus, which is kind of cheating, right? Because I think there's a lot of buildings here which are in view of the enemy, and we'd be clearing in CQB while also being suppressed by the MG nest.
It'd be struggling to spot you, though, looking at that marker.
It would be. You're right. Yeah. But it's
Like,
the
it'd
point
just
is
be
that
one
it
of those,
does
like-
technically have a line of sight.
Yeah, this would be the thing where you just be conscious about your movement of, like, you cross and you don't you don't serpentine.
I mean, are we in Bosquet right now?
entire
Sorry.
time, though,
Yeah, we are.
You know there's
We're
an
in
MG
Bosquet.
up
So
there.
again, it's sort of like predicated, I think, on the fact of like relatively equal opponent here, right? Like I'm thinking
Yes.
2 squads max in San Luis. If
Probably,
you're going to
yeah,
have your
that's right.
approach vectors also garrisoned, it's totally going to change it up. I think. I just want to because this sort of applies to all plans as well. One thing I do want to sort of point out and to always remember, which I think gets lost a lot of the times, especially with the way people Zeus, which is not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. The enemy's going to move as well. They're not just sort of
Yes.
going to let you like
Mhm.
knock their shit over piece by piece. In terms of an MG nest, they're going to be pretty loath to sort of come down from there. And while I do appreciate knocking it out first and foremost, I think the ability to play around the MG nest might be one of the best things for you to do during an assault. Whereas the BTR 60, obviously like incredibly mobile. And the
Yeah.
guys in San Luis, there's nothing saying that they have to stay there. We're not paying them to stay there.
Yeah,
If
that's
we get
absolutely
fixed
right.
somewhere assaulting the MG nest, we might have 12 guys up our ass before we can blink.
A good Zeus will do that. That's right.
Yeah, it's just something to consider there.
So it's not something you have to worry about then, Chase, right?
Wow.
So yeah, I was.
I don't know, man, I'm just new here.
I'm glad you mentioned the BTR because I was going to say my primary concern with this approach is it's great. Like there's a bunch of cover and everything, and you can bound really well. My fear is the BTR like sallying out towards
Yeah,
us.
and yeah, that's what I was going to say, but with infantry. You know what my biggest
'Cause,
concern
yeah.
with this route is? I think there's too much cover. I think it actually creates a lot of dead ground where you can't see the enemy's movements. The enemy's movements are obfuscated from us as we move through this whole route. I'm flying through it in Zeus now.
Mhm.
I think that like even from this position here, like this is just at the corner, right? So this is just south of Bosquet, right? We have basically no sight lines to see enemies maneuvering on us into advantageous positions on the ridge lines and stuff like that. And as you said, a good Zeus will react to our plan and act to us moving into this position here.
And the
This
MG
is
can
true.
still see
If,
us.
if they've seen us.
Yeah, I was going to
Oh,
say
the MC
a
is
lot
not
of
putting
this.
effective fire on us from here.
Yes,
Not as an
I was-
MG, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
Here, Ollie,
Yeah.
Click and a
we'll
half
test it
away.
out.
Go and do it. Like, legitimately. He's looking through like 7 different
yeah,
trees.
Yeah, it's pretty ineffective.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch one of us get fucking zoned in a second. Oh, I got hit. I got hit. I'm hit.
It's very ineffective, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
he hit me in the chest and
I mean,
arm.
you guys would not
Hit
be standing in the open, right? You'd run
No,
for
we'd
cover.
be getting to cover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we'd just get in some cover.
But
and
it's
be
a very
fine.
effective suppression. Like, it would absolutely fix you in place.
But he'd have to know exactly where you were. He'd have
Alright,
to mark that.
Let's go and
somehow.
look at Pies. Let's go and look at Pies one. So we go on the huge loop, right?
Yeah, so that JJ had a similar idea as well, but JJ
Yeah.
wanted to
So
split the teams.
this is absolutely the best approach to the MG nest. There is
Could we-
no way that you get stopped on the approach to the MG nest. Here.
One
You have
of the
full
spots,
cover.
can we stop here just to check out what this sort of line was?
Oh, the ridge.
Yeah.
Isn't that where we are now?
We're here.
Oh, is that
We're
the
on
ridge?
91, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, the ridge. The ridge.
No,
is literally to our
you're
southeast.
just south of the radio station.
Oh, we're over here.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
Okay, and now I'm. Oh shit, that's the wrong spot. Hang on, sorry, I'm having a Zeus moment.
Don't
So
fear
that
the
where
nest,
you
it won't
were
shoot at
where
you.
you were circling Pi, we're on feature 170 now. We're on the hill at 170, just straight north of the MG nest. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is an incredible approach up to the MG nest, but it just the time consideration. I don't think I would prefer this one. I think I would prefer
Motorized,
to.
yes. Infantry,
Yeah,
no.
motorized,
So if we're not beating it straight up the cliff face,
I want to show you
we're
that one
going
next.
all the way around. It is a 1.5 click walk.
Yeah.
But
You
also,
risk it,
you'd
you
want
get
to
to the
plan
radio
before
station,
getting near the area.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So this is. Let's go back to staging point, right, and see what the line of sight is from staging point. This is slightly west of staging point. Okay. So from
we
here,
would all be underneath that cliff face.
Yeah, we're
from this
completely
position,
concealed.
you can actually see the BTR coming down the MSR into the town just very slightly. You see the top of the turret. It'd be in a hold down position, basically. Basically, just you see the smoke out to the west. Yeah.
Seen.
Yeah. The ridgeline that I was talking about, I think I actually nailed it. This is the defilade position.
Yeah, if you don't
This is-
pop your head up and over, you're covered
This is
from by the
300
MG.
and something meters from the MG nest. You could absolutely get effective fire with rifles into the MG nest and suppress them while like your fire team bounds up. That's kind of what I was thinking.
The only reason I am so hesitant for these kinds of attacks is because you put the BTR on the field. That is mechanized, or sorry, motorized
Yeah, so
infantry.
that
No,
was
movement.
mechanized.
That was the other consideration, is that I can see the BTR moving up on me and I can get my
Yeah.
team to kill it.
But if that moves up on you and you miss that shot, you're on the side of a hill with a
Well, that-
BTR full of infantry that are going
Well,
to get out.
It's the
and
same
be
same
angry.
diff as if you have him pinned down and you miss the shot. It doesn't matter. Like the missing of the shot is not the important thing. The important thing is that you put yourself in the position to whether or not you miss the shot to be in the best advantageous
Yeah,
position.
it's just that this place is scary me because if anyone flanks you here, you're in a bad place.
Yes,
Like
it
if
is
the
a
BTR
great
roll
question.
down that road,
I don't know if I fully agree with that because the thing is if we get flanked from the south, we run north and then take a reverse slope on the northern side of the ridge and we have cover from them. If we get flanked from the west, then we can kind of pull this position here. And if we get flanked from the north, then the inverse is true. We can kind of go over the southern ridge. And sure, that exposes us to the enemies in the town and potentially BTR and stuff. But there's options is the point, and that's what I mean when I'm talking about the reactivity kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I guess like a couple cool quick questions you can ask yourself when you're planning assaults like this. There's two questions. First one is like, what would be the worst plan? What would be the way you would never assault it in a million years, even if you had a commissar's pistol at the back of your head?
I wouldn't run up the MSR. I wouldn't run
Correct.
straight down the road.
And then the other question is, okay, so Jace, let's say like we do go with this plan. We're sort of on this little ridge line. We're assaulting the MG nest. We're kind of daring the BTR to come over the open land to us so we can map shot it. Let's completely switch your brain now. You're red 4, and you've just noticed 2 enemy elements coming up the ridge line to assault your MG nest. What do you do? And this is like I think a really good way of like stress testing plans. Once
Yeah,
you get
flip
sort of
it.
halfway through it
Absolutely.
and you've got the first, and this is I guess good advice for everyone. What do you expect the Op 4 to do? What's their most likely course of action?
All right, I think I
based on
know what they
you
would do,
about
but
them?
I want to hear what the group thinks.
I don't
Yeah,
know if they
questions
would
for
send the BTR. I think they
No,
would
fix
entrench
in
it
place
in
with
the
the
city.
MG. No,
I
absolutely
think if I was Zeus, it'd be a mortar in the radio station or something.
Right. I mean,
No,
that's a
I
really
would
good point
fix
because it
in place
depends
with
on
the
the Op
MG.
4's objective, right? If the Op 4 have the exact same objective we do, yeah, they're probably just going to send the BTR and entrench and like, sorry, MG guys, thanks, but no thanks. But what if their objective is actually something on the hill? What if the MG is protecting something important? They might act in a totally different way.
I'm
It's
going to
just food for
assume
thought.
that they are defending the town, and their objective now is to stop us from taking the town.
Yeah,
So
so they're probably
it-
going to entrench, right? Like if they take their MG position, that sucks for them. But they're probably going to, position their defenses more to the northeastern
Force us to
side.
go to
They're
there.
going to pull the BTR 60 either in or
yeah.
hey, it's a pretty juicy hill over here at 163
Yeah,
with
fully
very
agree.
very good
163,
sight lines over
yeah.
the whole town.
Fantastic
I'd
position,
probably
yeah.
reverse him there, to be quite honest.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, just something to think about as you're sort of planning your attack. What's the most likely thing the enemy's
Yeah,
going to do?
it's a very good way to like rigidly kind of test your plan very quickly. And also it's very good to like counter the Zeus a lot of the time as well. Like what the Zeus is going to do to you is probably something in those lines. If you think about the possibilities of what the Zeus can do, other than short of like spawning enemies on top of you, right? Like killing you instantly without warning.
Another consideration as well. What's the really cool thing about taking the MG nest first? What do you get?
You get the cord.
You get the cord. You get a fucking MG, right?
That's what I
Massive
was
force
thinking.
multiplier.
Yeah.
And good sightline as well.
And it takes the most advantageous position that the enemy has away from them, so that we now have clear advance to the town, and we can deal with the BTR in an isolated fashion where we're not dealing with two threats at once.
Lots of things to think of. And again, like, you know, what if it was nighttime, cover of night, where you have nods, enemies don't? All of a sudden, the southern approach, which is sneaky beaky, and they're definitely not going to see us from a kilometer away, becomes a very convenient way to infiltrate into the city and start CQBing before they even know that we're here.
And the flip is if it's sunset, this position kind of sucks because then the sun is setting due west, and your line of sight is going to have the sun behind the enemies.
Yeah, lots of different ways to skin a cat.
What if you didn't know about the MG?
If you didn't know about the MG, that's a great question.
Well, you just go straight into the point.
If you look at the map, it's a pretty obvious good spot. So you'd probably head up there.
You'd send
anyway.
an observation.
I was
to
gonna say,
Mo.
like, I would probably send some guys up here as like a base of fire anyway.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. The MG nest kind of doesn't really change the plane in my mind. Yes or no?
Would you have one up there, one through the middle? If you're not thinking
it's
them
too split.
I would not touch the MSR.
It's too split. Yeah. Even
If
with
I
an
was red
SBF
for it, the
position,
MSR is what I
again,
try
like
and
this is
control.
something that I want to stress, and it's something I want to see more people do, just because it is like it may not be the most tactically sound decision, but it's definitely the most interesting to play as a player that's not making tactical decisions, like as a rifleman, is keep the platoon cohesive, keep everyone close and in the kind of view of the cinematic sense, right? That shit's way more fun for everyone. If the platoon can like maneuver and help each other, and also you get to see just like a fucking like a group of dudes moving in like formation and shit like that, that's way more interesting than just like, you know, oh, we did the perfect tactical sound solution, at least in my mind. And that's kind of something that I've always stressed with doing squad leading and stuff in BTAC.
I don't think splitting the party's the tactical sound decision anyway.
Not
if you
usually.
send
It's
one
not
squad
always. It's
really
very
far
situational.
away,
It's very
It's more Platco stuff anyway.
Yeah,
It
but
is,
if you
you're
send
right,
a guy really far away, they have no support. They're
But
on
as
their own.
an SL, right? Let's say, to get back on the track of like squad leading.
Yeah.
If we're here, like, the only thing we can do as SLs is like what we've been told, right?
Okay, let's actually take it back a step. You're the only squad in this town. You're doing a Zeus op, right? You're only a single squad. Maybe the Placo's given you the objective of taking St. Louis. The other squads don't matter. What can you do as a squad leader? What's the route that you choose to get to the objective line?
And we know the MG.
We know the MG, yeah.
Probably the
still-
same.
Yeah, probably
I
the same
still
thing.
go to the MG position even if I didn't know it. Just for line of sight. Have an overview of what's going on.
Yeah.
All right,
I think
I'm
you're
gonna
a smaller force. You want to slice away at the enemy. You don't want to get the full thing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
And
going to
because
dictate that we are done with this scenario because we could talk about it literally all night. It's really fascinating.
The radio station to the north was interesting once. I did an assault on this yesterday. Or no, not yesterday. Last
All
week.
right, so the radio station to the north.
So you're coming in from the south. Is
Real
what we-
quick, thank you, Valk. That was a great little scenario. I like that a lot. That was cool.
Thanks, Russ.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the next one.
So you're in St. Louis. You're taking the radio station to the north. You're a section sized, maybe 10 or 12.
Okay, I've got my plan in mind. Let's get Sparks to do a run. What would you plan?
Hang on, are we still mapping stuff out?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll
still-
wait.
Stepping off. Let's do it at the top of the ridge line. Actually, no, we're in St. Louis. That's a great idea. St. Louis, Alpha 1-1, Alpha 1-2. Let's have a third squad, Alpha 1-3. Okay. These guys are motorized. They have MRAPs, so they can maneuver around.
Is it
and
squads or sections?
These are 8-man teams, 8-man squads. Like a full B tac night, essentially.
Yep.
You're promoted to Platco. What are you doing, Sparks?
Okay.
First of all, firing whoever put me in that position, because that is a terrible idea.
Is he right in front of me?
The objective is to destroy the enemy garrison at radio station and seize the position for friendly forces. You don't have any intel on the enemy's strength or composition at this time. You just know that the enemies are garrisoning the radio station.
I was even just playing this as a section, because a section could take out.
Immediately,
Like two
I'm making
sections
my
away.
way up to this hill. Being the high point, actually, is it the high point?
Yep, 185. Yeah.
Yeah. Being the high point, absolutely. I want to get visual. I have no idea what's there, who's there, how is there. I want to first find out what's going on down there. So once I find out what was going down there, when is there? Yeah, exactly. So can we like progress this? So say I've pushed here.
Okay, so you're at 185, yeah?
Yes.
You wouldn't be able to see anything.
Yeah, you're
I
in
mean,
a forest.
Let's
a
do
little
it.
bit to your west.
Let's go there, Sparks. Let's do a hypothetical, all right? Let's do a
Yeah.
D&D campaign. You walk through the forest, and as you get to the point,
You're eaten by a gazebo.
yeah, you get to the point, just at the ridgeline top, here, right? So this. We're assuming this is a single squad, right? Because this is the whole platoon. Because drawn a single line. Which is it?
Whole platoon. The
Whole platoon. Whole
staying-
platoon is in this
staying-
position. They're in a vague formation of like a V. I have like 1, 2, and 1, 1 on the left and right front of the V. I have 1, 3 in reserve at the rear of the V to basically act as a maneuver element. 1, 1, and 1, 2 fix the enemy in place, and then everyone kind of maneuvers around this point. We get to here, and the platoon takes contact from the rocks north of us. Strong enemy garrison. Maybe not strong enemy garrison. This is a squad size force that is like recon satellite patrols.
We're taking contact from the north.
Yeah. So what do you do?
So we're getting contact from the north. I'm going to side across the east. So follow. Oh, hold up. I'm actually going to push using the forest as a space between the base and. Gosh, not too much, but yeah. Side across northeast to keep the forest in between us, and try and get to a line of sight to get. So we've gotten contact.
We're like right here.
Oh, we're right back here. Yeah,
the rock's like up here.
So we're getting contact at 183.
The rock is actually these markers here. So we're here at the C marker, and then we start taking contact from that position there. Yeah, okay, that's much better. There you go. That's exactly what it looks like.
Thank you. That's better. So
let's keep these
I'm going
consistent though. 1, 1, 1, 2, etc.
I'll be moving west, continuing in the forest to try and break that line of sight with that machine gun or just a recon squad.
Does anyone disagree with that call?
Yes.
No, I think I do.
Well, I wouldn't have started
it.
there, but otherwise, yes.
Send one section to take it.
I mean, you probably overwhelm them 100%.
Yeah.
Just clarify.
Aggressive.
Yeah, clarify what you mean. You've taken contact from the rock. You're sending the whole platoon to the west.
I reckon I'd said 1, 1, and 1, 3 off to the west, and I'd have one. Oh, but I can't leave. I'd have 1, 1 focusing their attention on north side, north to northeast. I'd have 1, 3 in between, like sort of here, to then help sort of flank this recon force, and then have 1, 2 either distracting them or like pushing them from a different angle. That way, they're both 1, 3 and 1, 2 are both supporting each other from 2 different angles, and they shouldn't be firing upon each other. Like they shouldn't be in each other's line of sight. While 1, 1 maintains some sort of awareness of what's going on.
Okay, so like QRF up this road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Nice.
thinking?
Okay, I think that's pretty good. For
Just
me
in case,
personally, I would not be in the map at all at this point. I would be reading the fight. I would be heads up in running around, sprinting into fucking front line, getting myself in danger. Trying to get a read on the fight. And I would basically dictate that
That's exactly what he does.
1, 1 would become my base of fire element with the intention of bringing 1, 2, and 1, 3 around behind them in a leapfrogging pattern. So that's kind of what I would do. I would say that 1, 2's position to the east is actually unfavorable. It's downhill, and it's also exposed further along to the east.
Yeah.
If we consolidate the platoon going northwest, we take high ground. There's better cover, and we expose ourselves to less angles all at the same time, especially from known enemy contacts. And it also future-proofs us in case we get flanked from other positions. So I would actually change the order just a little bit, at least personally. My bound would be 1, 1, immediately drop and establish a base of fire. And because 1, 2 is parallel to them, 1, 2 is probably the element that's just taken fire. I'm assuming that they are going to be having a really hard time getting their guys to disengage and move away from a point. So if I was the squad leader in 1, 2, my squad would be shooting like crazy. And if I told them disengage, let's move, they probably wouldn't listen to me, right? They'd be too busy engaging. They'd be too kill hungry. And they're probably also taking like wounds and shit like that. My first bound wouldn't actually be 1, 2. My first bound would be 1, 3. I'd have 1, 1 and 1-2 fix in place, 1-3 flank due west, get behind 1-1, and then establish a position on 1-1's left, and then 1-2 would kind of bring up and reconsolidate, and then bound past 1-1, 1-3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My only comment would be that's potentially quite hard to communicate the intent over the radio unless you're physically running around.
That's why. Let's do the radio calls. What would it look like?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We've just taken contact. I'm Platco, and I know that 1-2 and 1-1 are my left and right element. So what's the call?
You'd first. Oh.
Well, 1-2 is called contact.
Can we roleplay real quick?
So 1-2 is called contact.
Okay, I'm barred.
1-2 in contact to the north.
Okay, who wants to be Platco?
Do we get it?
I can.
The last thing I want
Wouldn't there be Sparks thing?
Right, who said that?
Isn't this Sparks' thing? So wouldn't he be Blacko?
Okay, Sparks is Platco. Yes, sorry, good call. Thank you.
Field promotion.
So Sparks, you need to communicate to the squad. So who's my 1-1 element? Just let's get a volunteer. 1-1.
I'll go 1-1.
Okay, Lucas 1-1. Who's 1-2? Holden's 1-2. Who's 1-3?
JJ.
JJ. Okay,
Oh, yeah, of
let's
course,
see how this plays out. So Sparks, those are your elements.
And we're playing it as if we haven't been in contact yet.
You haven't been in contact.
contact.
Just now, 1-2's just taken contact. Holden's just called that out. And they're at the rock immediately in front of you. You've seen the bullets. You've seen the traces of squad leader.
I see the bullets, and and 1-2 has just called it out.
Yep.
All right.
Give me the radio calls. What does it look like?
I'm just trying to... Would I say plaque?
Oh, you weren't here for the radio practice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit off, but
all right, let me do it. I'll give you an example. All right.
thank you.
So.
Zeus in the face.
Chase.
Oh,
Zeus
okay,
in the
sorry.
face moment.
I'm gonna be running around rather than in the map. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm gonna say 1-1 actual.
Actual, this is 1-1 send.
1-1 fix in place. Establish base of fire. Engage the guys at the rocks close to your northeast.
Copy, engaging.
1-2 actual.
Go for 1-2.
1-2 hold position. Try and sustain as long as you can.
We'll do over.
1-3 actual.
1-3.
1-3 move due west. Flank around 1-1. Set up on their left hand side facing northeast.
1-3 copies moving now.
Cool. And then 1-3 moves after a little minute. 1-2. 1-2. Sorry, 1-2. This is actual.
Go for 1-2.
1-2. I want you to move west, southwest. Get behind the platoon. You're flanking around them, leapfrogging. You're going to be the last position moving.
West, southwest moving.
Perfect. How's that sound?
Good.
Yeah, great. Good.
And then with that, I've got a perfect squad bound. I didn't call multiple call signs. I didn't need to use a net call. Everyone got their traffic while they were in the heat of combat, and they didn't miss any calls for themselves, right? I think that was a very good drill. You guys did very well on the comms there. And I know that the squads are going to be self-sufficient. I don't need to micromanage them past a certain point. Obviously, my intent is to do the braiding kind of leapfrogging maneuver, right? Where it's this kind of shape, I guess. Pivoting around 1-1. But again, I don't need to communicate that to the people. I just need to tell them what they need to do, and then they can concentrate on that. And they have a level of autonomy where 1-2's engaged in combat. They're not my first priority. Really, I need to get them out of there because they're taking that bad combat and they're in a bad position. But if 1-1 is supporting them with mutual support, their position is less shit, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking anyway.
So yeah, from a squad lead level though, pretty much your primary job in that instance is just rallying your squad, right?
Yeah.
Keeping them on task.
The other thing as well that I would talk about is that platoon commanders will frequently give you actions on, right? So if we're moving up in our formation through the forest and it's actions on contact, I want 1-1 and 1-2 to fix in place. 1-3, you're going to be my maneuver element. Get ready for a quick call to maneuver once we take engagement. They know in advance, they can prepare their guys to not get bogged down in an engagement, and then they can make that call in the moment.
It's probably going to look a lot more like this on the map as well.
Yeah, exactly. I've got
You're
them in
just going to
reserve
be follow
to
the
react.
line, and then you can deviate where needed.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that basically is where I want to end it for tonight because I'm aware of the time is 9:45, approaching 10 o'clock on a school night, no less.
I was going to say the ready tower to the north would have been a good section level attack because you got Do you want to or not? Probably
Let's
not.
very quickly run it. Let's give us your plan, Pi. So how are we taking the radio station?
So I had a single section. So we had a vehicle. We pushed up to pretty much where the 1-3 position is, dismounted. I pushed one team up to get a SPF on the rocks, and another team just swing sort of wide to secure an entrance.
So you've got one fire team
You're
there,
working within a squad.
and then another
Two
fire
fire
team
teams.
there.
Yeah. These guys could still see it this way, so they were pushing up in line with them. Once they got out of, once they had secured this position, they then set up on the rocks facing to the base. Keeping in mind they could see to the along this sort of wall here. So anything in this space here, anything in this space here, and most of the base was all a kill zone for Bravo.
Yeah.
So they've secured the gate. They should be able to push in to this wall with the support of Bravo.
Yeah. Agreed.
This is pretty not very steep. So Bravo could then push in once they're not in an effective position, and try and set up further north with them. So they're not going through the same entrance. We're getting two different. We're spreading out our assault.
Arcs of fire.
Yeah, sorry, the arcs of fire.
Spheres of influence. Yeah, is the other word I would use for that.
Yeah. So you don't need to commit too hard. We can still play it by ear. If these guys need some more support, we can still pull that early to come assist them.
Nice
if it's fairly light on entrance, we can get the team set up here.
I think that
Alpha team focuses on clearing, as this team just focuses on keeping this sector as a blocking sort of position. And once more of this is safe,
I actually fully disagree. I think that you've undercommitted your forces, and the guys sitting on the SBF are now useless and ineffective at covering your Alpha team.
they can
I
still
think
see
that
through here.
no, they can't. And if they can, all they're seeing is the guys that are your friendlies. There's not going to be any enemies at that position anymore, right? Because they've been cleared through already, or been cleared by the SBF. So honestly, I would commit my team to the SBF initially, and then once my team hit the exterior wall, once Alpha can get to a position to cover Bravo's advance, I would have them leapfrog there. I wouldn't have Alpha going clear by themselves whatsoever. I'd cut the compound in half, like, and I'd have Bravo
then come in this way.
Bravo clears that sector while Alpha's simultaneously clearing this sector. I honestly would even have Bravo come this way, because if they go around this way, now all of a sudden Alpha can't cover them effectively once they get behind this wall. And then that's also not really 90 degrees out of phase. Like, you're not doing the two angle attack, right? You're not having two simultaneous pincer forces, so that people that are in cover from Bravo can't be killed by Alpha and vice versa.
Intel had actually, I missed something. Intel I had on that was there was a barracks here as well.
Barracks there. Well, I think at this point, keeping the squads closer together is also even more better, because if these guys react and come up the top or come up around the side or whatever, I want my squads close together. And there's no way that Bravo can support Alpha. Let's do this, ready? If Alpha moves through and clears here, then the QRF comes up the hill and attacks them. Bravo can't do anything to help them. Bravo's not in a position to provide mutual support whatsoever.
Or you could go around the east side. So you have Alpha go through the right in the gap here, and you can have Blue Team Bravo chicken jockeying.
Yeah.
Top.
Yeah.
And just do like an external clear until
There's a lot of ways you can do it. The main thing though, I think, like, the main takeaway that I want to give people is to just be decisive. You don't have to have the perfect plan. Like, the reason we're doing this discussion is because it's interesting to look at, and because it's the more you do it, the more you'll kind of get a fluid sense of how these things kind of play out, and the more you do it, the more you fuck it up. The more you realize, like, that was a bad plan. I shouldn't have committed my squads there like that. And the next time you do it differently. The main thing that we want to see from squad leaders, especially in the near future, is just be decisive. Make the plan quickly. It doesn't need to be the perfect plan, because the plan will fall apart the second it comes into contact with the enemy anyway. So all of this planning and stuff like that, I'm worried that we're giving the wrong impression to newer squad leaders. The correct thing to do is to just be decisive. Come up with a plan immediately and enact that plan. Doesn't matter if it's perfect.
Okay. Here's a better scenario for that then. We can go back to the machine gun thing, right? You're getting engaged by a machine gun. What is the first thing? What is the first instinct, right? For like 99% of people, it's probably to hit the dirt. But if you're in the middle of walking, for example, like where we were previously, and you get caught like before these trees. One moment. I'm gonna put. You get caught here, right? where I put that little blue 4 marker back near
Oh, food is
St.
amazing.
Louis, and you're getting engaged from somewhere to your northwest. As a squad leader, and as a human being, your first instinct is to like hit the deck and like stay as low as possible. As a squad leader, keeping the team alive, it's better for you to bound one team suppressors, bound to cover like the trees, for example, and then you start returning fire, and then the other team comes and secures like the little compound there. That would be something that you do on this like squad or section level. Platoon would be trying to figure out how to silence that machine gun. Your job primarily is keeping your guys alive and trying to action the platoon commander's intent. Right? Am I wrong?
If I can say, we had a Zeus op recently where Sparks was leading, and Delmex brought up a brilliant point of a bad decision now is better than a good decision in like a couple minutes.
Yes. Yeah, that is true.
You also got like 30 people standing around waiting for you to make a decision.
Well,
yes.
Oh, I'm talking about squad level. It's just you need to make a decision now, because otherwise you're just frozen. People are asking what's going on, and then pressure starts building.
As a question for that Zeus op when I was doing it, is it better to have the mindset of, say the enemy starts shooting on our position out of nowhere, isn't it better to then sort of bound and get into cover, being that the enemy already has the upper hand of knowing where you are? You might know where they are as soon as they start firing because you got, traces coming at you, but you don't have a plan yet, whereas they do, so they have the upper hand. Whereas if it's the other way around, you can
You just need to make a decision before it gets worse. That's pretty much all that's being said.
Yeah, if it's close, you might be able to salt through. Yeah, if it's close, you might be able to salt through, or you might want to break contact. There's the big thing is, as Jason said, and we've been saying here, you just need to make that call, right?
Yes.
And then adapt to the situation as it arises.
Because
which really,
the thing is that your tactical bone, like the one that you work in your muscle that you have, where you like, oh, I know the perfect plan for this situation, and the one that I'm going to do is this one because I've done it so many times, right? That's something you develop over time. But the thing you can develop right now is being decisive, and that will help you to develop your muscle for doing the tactical stuff, because it's like, oh, I decisively made the wrong call. I fucked up. And then it's like the next time I do it, I'm not going to make that call, right? So as long as you're decisive now, that's the thing you can work on immediately.
All right.
The other thing just comes with thousands of hours of experience, unfortunately.
Decisiveness inspires confidence. That's the other thing to remember as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the other 8 people in your squad are confident that you've made a decent plan, they're going to enact it, and they're going to follow through on that plan with a decent amount of violence and course of action. If you're sitting there and ahhing and sort of like splitting hairs over a bunch of different like ways to
variables that
assault
aren't going to affect in the end game anyway. Yeah.
Your insurity is gonna bleed down to your guys. If you're quick, concise, and clear in your communications and how you're looking to enact a plan, like 8 guys all on the same page enacting an okay plan is always going to outperform 3 guys that are locked in on the perfect plan, 3 guys that zoned out because you talked too long, and 2 guys that have gone AFK because they need to piss because your planning took 35 minutes. Exactly. It's always something to remember.
I think it's boomeranging if you make too many changing orders constantly.
Yeah, that too.
People are always going to hear the first order first.
Yeah, that's very hard for television.
It's hard to like
this is
change
all of the
an
stuff
order.
that we're talking about now. I have more than half of TTP4 is dedicated to leadership skills and stuff like that. That's outside of the scope of what we're doing tonight. Because that's just such a broad topic, and it's something that we can train individuals with and stuff like that.
And it takes bloody years.
But it is literally just something that we're gonna do at some point, just not tonight. But it's very important to bring up. So that's really good work.
Something that can't be trained that's also important is people skills. At the end of the day, just remember that you are leading people. You are like talking to other human beings on the internet. You can be the most like tactically sound Navy SEAL fucking ex-operator ever. If you're a piece of shit, I'm kind of just not going to want to listen to you, and I'm not going to take what you have to say. I'm going to take it all with a big grain of salt with a stick up my ass. If you're a nice person and you can like effectively manage people's emotions, free time, just having respect for the time that the people who are there in your mission have contributed, it's just going to go a lot better for you. Just keep in mind that anytime you step into a leadership role, it's not just tactical and, in-depth knowledge about MOA and 5.56 terminal ballistics. It's talking to people and being able to relay that message.
Please.
I
need people like
remember that being part of command team is you're responsible for people's fun now.
Exactly.
In your squad, you're
100%.
responsible for
Yeah.
what happens.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is what Jason
Yeah.
was saying the whole time as well. We're all on the same page. I hope so.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's a big answer to the fourth green point.
It's gone off the map.
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
What
pretty
have I
much. So
missed?
like if we go into an area and like an ROE hasn't been given, most people will default to what? What would be your default, everybody?
What was
Probably hold fire unless
What
fired
was,
upon.
what was the
right?
question?
If I don't give you an explicit ROE, a rule of engagement, what are you just going to default to?
Blast him.
Return fire.
Yeah,
mine is return
blast
fire
him,
as well.
probably
Blast
return
him.
fire, right?
Blast
Like
him.
that guy's wearing like he's
return
wearing
fire,
fucking
yeah.
Afghan robes and has an AK. I'm probably going to blow him away. That's an implicit order. An explicit order is Sparks. I want you to shoot only on my command.
Yeah.
So
Sparks
also
shoot.
something to keep in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Enacting that right now. Bang.
Cool. All right.
No commands given.
10 o'clock.
Just give me the word.
Do you guys want to do a Zeus up?
Zeus up?
Jesus Christ.
Fuck yeah.
Don't forget to at people for it. Don't throw that grenade. Oh, thank
Wait,
you
how
guys.
long would
Thank
how,
you.
how long we thinking this up would be?
Yeah, that was my
I'm
bad.
thinking I'm going to do it relatively concise, about 1 hour long, but it's going to be pretty demanding on the like squad leaders. I think the squad leaders are going to be having a very hard time of it.
Could we do another island insertion style thing
Can I
like we
fly
did
a
for
chopper?
last Daryl video?
You want to do a UTES up?
Can I...
Not
was
UTES,
Dan
but I'm
recording that.
the op we did where we attacked that submarine and all the radar towers.
Yeah,
That
the Zeus
got
op.
us like 1,000 videos. A couple
he
of
means
nights
he
ago.
means
I'm
Daryl's
talking
main
about
video, the one
like
that
6
kicked
years
off
ago.
his fucking
The
YouTube
first one
career.
he dropped.
Yeah, I love that one. It was my favorite mission we did in a very long time.
recently
No, no.